right, here we go. Matt Hoffa, welcome back to VladTV.
I'm back.
I didn't even notice you had that on there. I didn't even notice. That's how stealth it is. But that's your thing. That's your thing when you come to VladTV.
That's my thing.
I like the fur, man.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Yeah, you looking cozy today.
Yeah.
I dig it. I dig it. You
got
stepping
a lot
it
of
up.
compliments outside.
Oh, yeah, no, you look fresh. You look fresh. Well, lots to talk about, but we have to start with this. Your former co-host, Hynaken and Esso, was doing an Angela Yee interview.
Right.
And you popped out.
I popped out.
You popped out.
Sometimes you gotta pop out and show niggas.
How did you know that interview was even happening?
I think I was riding around in the city. Kim gave me a call. We started talking. She told me what she was doing for the day. She said she had to do lip service with Angela Yee. And she said, I think Hynaken and Esso are supposed to be on before me. I said, I should pull up to that. She was like, oh, really? You really want to? And I was like, yeah, it ain't gonna be nothing. I just, give her a moment or whatever. So she said, I'm not gonna tell Angela because I don't think she's gonna want to do that. So, I pulled up. As far as Kim's concerned, like, it's not drama. It's not like I'm gonna walk in there and start hooking off on people and shit like that. And
you do have a rep, though.
Yeah, I got a reputation.
You got a reputation.
I got a reputation, but it's kind of aged.
True.
It's kind of aged a little bit.
Okay,
you know what
I'll
I'm
give you
saying?
that.
And I actually had signs just in case I wanted to go in there with animosity. I believe like God sends you signs. He speaks to you throughout the day and shit. So I walked past the two people that were in the middle of a conversation like, oh yeah, he's going to jail. I said, oh no, maybe I should just be the peacemaker today. Okay. So, I walked up in a spot.
You shook everyone's hand.
Shook everyone's hand, right.
Then you sat down.
Right.
It seemed like it was going to go.
I was invited to sit down.
Okay, yeah, you were invited to sit down, and it looked fairly friendly to begin with.
Right.
And then it didn't get very friendly. On their end.
Yeah, I think they still have to. For the people that watched and they felt like, oh, this was this shouldn't have happened, and they backdoored them and shit like that. Like, get over it. I feel like everybody's just getting way too pussy nowadays. Like, I understand that we live in this internet era where people hide behind fake profiles and leave comments of the nastiest shit, or people sit behind cameras and talk about people and say all the most horrendous shit that they could say, lie on them and all that, and they feel like there should be no type of consequence or confrontation. So when they see something like that, they feel like it's dangerous because it would be dangerous for, most of the people that's doing shit like that. But for me, I just wanted to sit there and say, look, one, I kind of missed you guys. Two, I wish things had worked out better. And if they, if you did have a problem with me, could we have a conversation about it? And that's what I did. I had a conversation about it. Now, whether Esso wanted to get hyper emotional and, say everything that I was saying, even including the things that he agreed with, was cap. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that was just camera stuff at the end of the day. And I don't do camera stuff. I do like, I'm gonna be me. So it was a good moment, in my opinion. I wish I could pop out on a couple more people.
Well, I salute you for getting screamed on and calmly sitting there and taking it.
Well, I didn't feel like I was getting screamed on. I felt like somebody was losing control.
Yeah. I mean, he was screaming.
Yeah.
And he was talking to you as he was screaming.
Yeah.
So that's what I meant, screamed on,
Yeah, I mean.
I salute your, maturity, because I've seen you do a lot more for a lot less, with less provocation.
I mean, but like, again, if I never had a relationship with those guys, maybe it'd be different. But I got to know these guys pretty well. Not enough to predict everything that they would do, but I got to know them pretty well. So, the yelling and screaming, it was reminiscent to me of being in the shop, because in the shop, if you don't know, Esso was my antagonist.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? That was his role. So it was like, oh, we're doing this again. You know what I mean? It was cute.
Well, I mean, from what I understand, I don't know all the details, but from what I heard based on the conversation, they got an offer from Bag Fuel while they were still on your show, and they took it, and... No? That's not what happened?
No.
So what happened?
What happened was, while we were... Okay. Because it gets confusing on the claims and what they say is the reason, or whether it gets real confusing.
Okay.
My issue, bottom line, was I asked you guys to stop Bag Fuel so we could focus on this. I'm in talks with negotiating a situation for all of us. And you guys went and restarted that show behind my back. You took my cameraman. I'm calling people. I'm asking them, like, yo, such and such is in town. We can get this interview tonight. Is everybody available? And 3 people can't hit me back because they're too busy shooting some shit that we agreed that they would stop doing.
Okay.
So it was just, the timing of it was like, why would you do this right now? Like, shit is like, we're about to be in a great space. Why would you do this right now? And like I said, people could fact check it. You go check the timeline of the Bag Fuel episodes, and you'll see there's a huge gap where they stopped, where we agreed that they would stop. So to be in negotiations with Diddy at the time, and to be asking for more money so that the team could be straight, and then the team doing this is like, why? Why now? Why'd you do it now? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Well, from my point of view, as a business owner who's had people that worked for me, went on to do other things and so forth, I think the problem lies in there may not have been a totally formal written contract.
there was.
There was?
There was.
Between you and Hynaken and Esso?
Yes.
Okay,
and
there was.
And as much as people want to say, oh, there wasn't a contract, there was a contract, it was a contract.
There was a contract.
It was a contract.
And you're saying they broke the contract?
They breached the contract, our agreement.
Okay.
And on top of that, I know where it comes from. It comes from ego. You know, me and Esso was having our issues. You know, he introduced me to some guys that were supposed to be from Revolt, who sent me a contract, but I found out they weren't from Revolt. So I was looking at them funny. Got in a
Middleman,
little
basically?
spat, you know, after that. I felt like that was his stab at me, but it was such bad timing. It was like, all right, do I try to forgive this or overlook it and potentially have to deal with this for the next 3 years if we get locked into a contract? Like, do I do that? If there was already strike 1, there's a strike 2, am I sitting back like why do it now? It doesn't make sense. It's like we're all about to get a deal as a group. Mm-hmm. And you announce, yo, my solo album, I'm working on my solo. Bro, can we establish this? Like,
yeah.
Imagine if Method Man would have been like promoting his solo album
before 36 Chamber
Wu-Tang actually came out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I got you.
What are you doing? Made no sense.
Well, regardless of what happened along the way, the one thing that you could say is that out of the Math Hoffa podcast, 2 other people now have a self-sufficient project that's part of your family tree, regardless of whether you guys are getting along or not.
Right.
You know, and that says a lot.
Right.
You know, for me, I always have a lot of pride where, you know, I know that there's certain people where I gave them their first interview, like a Terrence Gangster Williams, a Mob James, you know, like Tony Yayo is now, you know, buzzing in his own way. Like not that I gave him his first interview, but I'm the one that put him back. You know, people like Star, you know, and other names that people know about.
Right.
I'm the one that put a lot of effort behind them. I pushed them, and they went on to be successful on their own. And to me, I count that as one of my victories as well. Because I feel like this came out of something that I worked on and helped out, and they went on to do things. And they're not in business with me. I don't get residuals or anything else like that, but it still makes me feel good that I help propel certain people's careers. And I think you should feel good about Hynaken and Esso having a career these days, regardless of some of the bad blood, from before.
I think they would take that as a slight.
Really? Well, it
because
doesn't matter how they take it.
Because it was a show that existed before they came on to my show. It's just, it was under the radar. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
There's a lot of levels here, a lot of layers in the onion.
And Esso made the argument, like, you turned down Bag Fuel. And I broke this down on my platform, but just to be clear for everybody that's watching, when I said I would fund their show, I wanted this show to be an actual show. I wanted it to have a target audience. I wanted it to be, whether it was geared around Hynaken being a creep and having females on or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, I wanted it to be a show because, you could, two friends could sit down and start a podcast and talk about random stuff, but you kind of get lost in the target, you know what I mean? And that's what I felt about Bag Fuel. I felt like it was two friends just sitting down talking, but there was no target audience. With my expert opinion, we targeted hip hop. We had battle rappers on, we had hip hop legends. Like we became a name in that space, in that genre. Now starting to do interviews with different types of people, Robert F. Kennedy, Kenan Thompson, that's we still fall under the hip hop podcast.
Yeah,
you know what I mean, and that's what I wanted. I wanted it to have a specific target, and he called. He was like, "You're capping." Oh man, I'm not gonna sit here and let him cap no more. I'm like,
well, look, man,
right, man.
Congrats on sitting there and taking it. Because me personally, I don't do well with people screaming at me. I just don't.
I didn't feel like he was screaming at me because his eyes was all around the room.
Well,
I was like, who is he talking
to? I have a hard time. Like, I remember me and Polo G got into it, and, he wanted to FaceTime me. The first thing he started doing was screaming. And I said, you're either going to calm down or I'm going to hang up.
Right.
I'm going to tell you that one more time. You're going to calm down or I'm going to hang up. Rah, 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 hang up. I'm too old, and I've done too much shit to just let a person scream at me like they're, a parent. Like, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like, if you're going to talk to me, you're going to lower your tone, you're going to be respectful,
right?
Or I'm going to leave, or if there's someone with me, they might handle the situation, in terms of security or whatever else. But I'm not going to sit there and try to out-scream you or whatever else, right. or go that direction. So congratulations on your overall maturity, sitting there, smiling while this is happening. I applaud you.
Mav Hoffa gets a congratulations.
That's right.
For keeping his composure.
That's right. I'm proud of you. Because that's always been my criticism of you. You know what I'm saying? In terms of our friendship and our relationship, if going back years and years, whenever you do something crazy, you get a phone call from me and I'd be like, what are you doing? You're better than this. Like, this is only going to hurt you in the long run. So,
appreciate it.
Well, the other thing that happened, on my expert opinion, was Fat Joe coming in.
Right.
And he made some comments about people like Tariq Nasheed and foundational Black Americans.
Right.
He called them like a cult, something of that sort.
I think Fat Joe was just...
He called them broke. There's a few things he said. And by the way, did that video disappear? Was that video taken down?
No, it's back up.
It's back up?
Yeah.
Because people were commenting about the video was taken down, it's not there.
Yeah, I fucked with him a little bit, took it down, put it back up.
Okay.
But unfortunate situation. Very unfortunate situation. And, my heart goes out to Fat Joe. My heart goes out to anyone who takes offense. But, you got to understand on the podcast, you have to allow people to speak. You can't really be cut unless I have a personal relationship with the person that they're speaking on. Like, there's no reason for me to step in and be like, hey, and hey, and hey. You know what I'm saying? Like, I can't do that. Now, I can use my my discernment to see whether what they're saying is damaging to people, and I didn't feel like it was damaging. I feel like he was expressing his frustrations with not just the FBA, but a group of people that associate themselves with them, who choose to handle things in a very ignorant and ostracizing manner. And unfortunately, it was not conveyed like that, you know? So, you know, Fat Joe's from the Bronx. It's like, you know, he classified it how he wanted to classify it. Dame Dash got me on the phone with Tariq Nasheed.
Yeah, I know Tariq. Interviewed him a few times.
Yeah, it's to my understanding, he doesn't have an issue with me, because to be honest, I had no idea what the FBA was at that time. But if Fat Joe had to deal with the same people that I've noticed are leaving comments under all my stuff and you know, the things that they're saying, I mean, they're telling me, go back to my island, go back to your island.
The FBAs would call you a tether.
Yeah, and I'm like, come on, bro. And the sad thing about it is, with this hip hop culture, there's so many people who I feel like have been affected in a positive way when it comes to race relations, when it comes to kind of like eradicating racism. Hip hop is probably the number one thing that has done that.
Yeah.
So, and I'm not saying it's the FDA, I'm not saying it's Tariq Nasheed, but for certain people to now want to ostracize all the allies that we have compiled through this art form, what are you doing? I don't get it. And I don't think I'll ever understand it.
Look, I agree. I've had Tariq on my show multiple times. I had him once on, and then he crashed another interview I had, you know.
He popped out?
Yeah, he popped out,
Tom's
like you.
got to pop out show days.
Right. The Tommy Sotomayor interview, I didn't put that video out for a while, but then me and Tariq actually got on the phone, and he explained to me the reason why he popped out was because he thought that I purposely brought this guy who he was beefing with to try to escalate the beef, when the reality was I didn't even know they had a beef. And once I released the whole interview, he got to see for himself that I never even brought up his name until Tommy just brought it out on his own, and I just kind of skimmed past the topic.
Right.
And then suddenly he shows up.
Right.
But it was basically that. He just thought that I was trying to fan the fire of their beef, and I said I honestly had no idea.
Right. I guess we share that. I had no clue.
I had no clue.
Right.
But, you know, he came in again because, you know, I mean, to basically, for us to talk about that on camera, as well as to promote his new project, which was a documentary trying to prove that hip hop was solely started by Black Americans, and Puerto Ricans and whites and Asians and Latinos kind of had nothing to do with it until way later. Mm-hmm. And to me, I just don't really agree with it because Kool Herc is Jamaican.
Right.
Right? And some of the things that he did in terms of the way he would DJ and toast on the mic and everything else like that came from Jamaican dancehall culture.
Right.
Right? So there is a connection there, and it's a cool connection. I don't think it's a connection that should be like struck down and abolished. Like, it's kind of dope that there's Jamaican roots to it.
I mean, hip hop, just the beats alone has always been comprised of different art forms.
Right, you're sampling the first hit hip hop song.
Right.
Was a total sample of a disco song.
Right.
Good Times. Right? That wasn't a hip hop beat, it was a disco beat. Then people started sampling, you know, like what? Can you say the Wu-Tang stole from Chinese culture? You know, because they sampled Chinese movies in their album? You could say that, but it's a little silly. Like,
it's I don't know. Like I said, I don't completely understand it. I think that there is a trauma connected to that. You know, as far as like Black Americans and how many contributions we've we've given to this country, and how many of them have been either wiped away, erased from the history books, or overshadowed by some other races' plagiarism of it. I think that, this might be the thing that they just want to fight for. They want to hold on to. And like I said, I don't completely understand it. But, if that's what you want, that's what you want. But you can't stop the rest of the world from enjoying or participating. You just can't.
Look, here's what I think. And me and Tariq are cool now. But from my point of view, I think Tariq has figured out over time that if he uses this one particular angle of, okay, foundational Black Americans, I'm totally going to go all in on this particular philosophy that this is ours, it's nobody else's, and I'm going to attract people who feel that same way, he could sort of corner the market and capitalize and monetize and do what he does with people who are disgruntled in that way. Same thing as, Umar Johnson. Mm-hmm. I think they're two very similar kind of philosophies of like exclusionary, just us, don't intermix, don't get married to a snow bunny.
Right.
This is only ours. A white guy can't do rap and be considered great.
Right.
It's just us. It's not them.
Right.
They'll bring up examples that don't really make a lot of sense because if you look at other art forms, foreigners have come in and become champions in those art forms, like sumo wrestling.
Right.
There's a Samoan that became a grand champion. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
That they choose to exclude.
Basketball,
football,
golf.
like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
but these
race
car
driving now. I mean, you could say that's a white sport, but now you got like people like Lewis Hamilton who are dominating.
Right.
Like, whatever. Like, I understand that. I don't know how deeply the people like Tariq and Umar really feel, as opposed to like, hey, this is our hustle and this is our business and we got to stick to this. We can't.
Yeah.
We can't be wishy-washy about it. We're all the way on one side. And if you're not with us, then you're against us. And, it works for them. It's not my thing, though.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how rest in peace to all the brothers and sisters that gave their lives to the Black Panther movement. Mm-hmm. Rest in peace to Malcolm X. Rest in peace to all the Black leaders that have tried to kind of centralize us and keep it within us. Black Wall Street. Not to say that it's always thwarted by some sort of white conspiracy or a group that was designed to tear us down like the COINTELPRO. I don't see the angle for ostracizing everyone else who's participated in this culture.
I think the world has gotten past the only us, never them mentality. The world is just too connected.
Right.
Like you would really have to go and live on a island somewhere to really pull that off properly and exclude outside communication.
Yeah.
You cannot live in a world of the internet and social media and, who doesn't have an interracial couple in their family somewhere these days. You know what I'm saying? Whether it's black, white, black and Spanish, Asian and white, it's just so common these days. Like mixed kids were a rarity at one point, but now it's almost it's almost the rule
upstate
these
New
days.
York?
Yeah.
You know how many guys I've lost to upstate?
Oh, white girls?
They just go up there and they never come back. They never come back. You just see the pictures go up on Facebook.
That's right.
With a lot of these light brown kids. And
That's
you're
right.
like, yo,
That's all good,
They're never coming back, bro.
It's all good. More of that.
They're like, fuck the hood.
More
We
of
up
that.
here, bro.
More of that.
I'm telling you. Dr. Umar would be so outraged to know what half of my block has accomplished in 10 years.
I truly feel that it's harder to be racist when one of your kids is mixed. You know what I'm saying?
It is.
Like when you have a mixed kid, like you're gonna be racist to your own kid. Like, come on.
And that's the thing. I think that a lot of New Yorkers, like taking issue with Fat Joe saying like New Yorkers we don't give a fuck about that. We don't want to fight for that. that y'all want to hold on to. We don't want that. We don't want that. That's the white man, like, we just want this group of people to be the... No, we don't. That's not what we do here. We got white, Chinese, black, Asian, Latino. Like, we don't fight for the exclusivity of this title. You know what I mean? Like, who wants to fight for that? Like, why? Why are you guys fighting for this shit? Like, I don't know. I'm all for just giving out to whoever. Whoever. As long as you use it in the right way. If you use it and you look a little bit angry when you use it, you might be in trouble. But as long as you use it in the right way, you know what I'm saying?
So you're okay with white guys using the N-word?
It depends. If you grew up in our neighborhoods, it's almost like a badge of honor for the struggles of poverty in urban neighborhoods. You know what I'm saying? I knew Antonio and his parents had the same issues that mine did. That was I was his. You know what I'm saying? Like, it didn't hit us the same way that, you know, someone down south, you know, that you might have heard that for the first time out of a truck from a hillbilly. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, and you know, your parents let you know it was supposed to be something wrong and he wasn't supposed to say that. We didn't have that up here.
Yeah, I mean, I think that word shouldn't be used by any white person. Like, all the times we hung out, have you ever heard me say it once?
Oh, 3 or 4 times. I'm fucking with you. He's definitely gonna clip that out.
Someone else will.
Back in the day, he was just like, yeah, Vlad the Butcher.
Nope, not gonna find it. You're not gonna find it. Because I just feel like there's no point of a white person saying that at all. Like, well, what are you trying to prove with that?
But then what about the white kid that grew up in the same neighborhood, surrounded?
But you've seen this.
You think you're gonna explain to the kid, they can say it, but you can't say it.
Here's the problem with it, right? Remember the white girl mob? V Nasty and Creation and all them? Right? And V Nasty was a white girl, grew up in the hood, had 2 mixed kids, I believe, and would just use it freely. Would use it around her friends, everything else like that, and never had a problem with it. I've interviewed her about this before. And the thing is that, like, yeah, when you're around people that know you, who know your character, know your background, know where you're coming from and so forth, they're probably cool with you saying it.
Right.
They're not gonna even think twice about it. But once you go on the internet and present that to the world, you're going to offend a lot of people. And you know, if you wanna take those, you know, those jabs, you could take it. You know, you could stand on your, you know, you could stand on that hill.
Right.
Or you could just say, you know, this is probably something that really has no real upsides in the grand scheme of things. This is a word that really has been used in such negative ways by people who are the same color as me for too many years. Even though, like, I'm a Russian immigrant, I'm a Ukrainian immigrant. My family has nothing to do with slavery at all on any level, right? But still, I understand because of how I look, it's going to be taken a certain type of way. So I just never use it. And I think that every white person.
What if you used it on other white people?
I wouldn't. The word is the word.
I'm just saying, like, what if a white person?
That's just weird.
That?
I never even thought about that before.
But what if a white person used it on other white people?
I mean, but I'm sure that happens every day, right?
Right. But would it be looked at like fucked up? Like, if you just somehow we discovered like this neighborhood, you know what I'm saying, a trailer park, whatever, and it's just a bunch of white people walking around like, yo, tell her come over here. Like, will we look at it and be like, no, stop? Or would it be like, oh shit? Like, I'm just curious. I want to know. I'm curious what that looks like.
I mean, have you ever seen my interview with Nuc Kazus?
Nuc Kazus?
Nuc Kazus. This happened about 4 years ago. It's right around the time of the pandemic. This guy here. Nuc Kazus is a white guy who decided to take extreme pills to make his skin turn dark. I believe he has Kill Whitey tattooed on his arm.
He's white though.
But he's white.
Like white.
Like completely and totally white. But he feels that he wants to be black, and he has basically...
Where's he from?
I don't know, down south somewhere?
He can't be.
Yeah, he was doing skin injections. He basically was doing skin injections, which potentially are very harmful to him.
Right.
In order to be as black and dark as possible. Because he is straight like me white in real life.
But he took the injection.
He took the injections. Yes.
Wow.
He said he doesn't like white people. Like I believe it says Kill Whitey tattooed on his arm.
Kill Whitey.
Let me just make sure about this. Hold on.
So is he like is there like a hood that accepts him? Does he have does he hang around black people all day? Like what?
Yeah, I believe he has, black friends. I believe he has black girlfriends and stuff like that. I mean, but he's taking it one step further. There was a movie back in the day called Soul Man that kind of parodied this.
I'm telling you, there's some deep mental trauma connected to all this shit. And
I asked if he was crazy. Do you feel that you're mentally unstable? He said, no, I don't think so. People are when they look at your situation, some people will think you're crazy. Do you feel like you're crazy, or do you think that you're perfectly normal and everyone else is just tripping?
I think a lot of people are tripping. I don't feel like I'm crazy. I might be I'm not saying, I wouldn't even say a little off, you know what I'm saying? I'm just a little different, you know what I'm saying? But I don't find myself crazy. It's just people don't see the real me. They don't take the chance or time to actually get to know me. Like I said before, or anything that I'm about. They see little clips, little pieces of me. You know what I'm saying? They see some extremes, some of my extreme point of views, but they don't know the real me. That's just little teeny pieces of who I am. Once you know me, I don't think anybody would think that I'm crazy.
He doesn't think so.
No, but he answered the question though. I mean, he's probably thought about it. And he also he also feels that he's not dark enough yet. He wanted to be way darker.
He wants to be way darker.
Yeah, he's not like that. That brown complexion is just not. Here we go. Okay, so here we go. So these are the tattoos he has. He has one tattoo that says "fuck whites," and another one that says "black power." Sorry, so it wasn't Kill Whitey. It was "fuck whites" and "black power" on his arms. And if you look, like, this is his natural skin tone. You see that? That's what he really looks like in real life before the injections.
It's crazy.
Would you allow him to use the N-word around you? Has he earned it?
I don't know. I don't know.
So this is the full picture. This is what he looks like.
That's what he used to look like.
What he used to look like before the injections. But the tattoos are already there. So the seed was already planted.
You see, it's so hard, bro. It's like, oh man. Yeah, I don't know. This shit is nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah, this shit is nuts.
Yeah, man. I
personally, I don't want to fight for the word. I know when it's used in a derogatory manner, and I know when it's used as a term of endearment. Like I can tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? But personally, I don't care to fight for the exclusivity of it.
Fair enough.
It's just me.
Yeah. Well, look, like I said, I've never used it, and that's been working for me great. You know what I'm saying? No controversy, no explanations, no like,
right.
I grew up around black friends. All my friends are black. I have black girlfriends. They didn't care for you. Like, I don't want to have to go through that whole bullshit explanation.
And explaining why I do it.
And I just don't use it. It's easier that way.
Right.
And all the white people that are watching this right now, just follow my lead. It'll work out best in the long run. Honestly, I'm 51.
Just don't use it. But they still use it. Like,
of course they do.
You go to concerts.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't rap along to certain words.
Bruh.
I don't.
You don't?
I don't. No. Do
Vlad,
I hear it? Obviously, I hear it.
You've never been in a car like, Jig,
No.
Nah.
You've been around me.
Been here?
How many years have you known me? Have you ever? How many times have we just hung out? Have you ever just heard me casually say it?
So
have you ever heard me just casually say it?
There's certain albums that is just unavoidable.
And I would just skip that word.
Were you in the DMX?
Yes.
You said that shit
No.
in your car, Vlad. You
No.
said it in your car.
I have not.
At some point.
I have not, man. I think it's an ugly word. And I
What
think
these
it's a
bitches
word.
want from a Vlad. What these bitches want from a Hasidic. What these bitches want from an Ashkenazi. I'm like, what the fuck? Yo, I'm just saying, man. Like, I think with I'm faced with real life shit.
Right.
Like friends dying from cancer, people I love getting ailments and not coming out of the hospital, mental health. It's not so much violence anymore. It's shit that we're putting in our system, shit that we're putting in our brains. Like, that's real life shit to me. These fucking arguments over who can say it and who can't is just, it's like the volume is turned down on this bullshit, bro. For me, the volume's just way down on this stupid shit, bro.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, go through some real shit, you'll realize how silly all this is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All day. All day. Well, let's switch gears. LiAngelo Ball reportedly signed a $13 million deal with Def Jam. They're saying it's $8 million guaranteed. It's off this song, Tweaker. You heard it?
How much?
From what people are writing, they're saying it's a $13 million deal with $8 million guaranteed, and he maintains full ownership of his music and his label. That sounds a little ridiculous. I mean, if you really read it out loud, because like, why would any company do a deal like this? Especially when there's only just one song that's reacting. But it seems like he actually signed to Def Jam.
Who's running Def Jam right now?
Who's the president?
Yeah.
That's a great question. It's not Paul Rosenberg anymore, is it?
I don't know.
Let's take a look. Tunji Balogun. I don't know who this is. He's a Nigerian-American record label.
Tunji Balogun.
Balogun? Something like that. This guy right here.
Whoa. Hey, Tunji.
I'm sure Tariq is very upset over a Nigerian-American running the premier hip-hop American
Def
record
Jam,
label.
you know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? Like, yo.
You know,
Would you rather have the Nigerian guy or the Jewish guy with Leroy Cohen? Which way you want to go? Like, choose your evils here.
That's crazy. Whoa.
Yeah.
Congratulations to LiAngelo Ball.
Yeah.
Congratulations to
Have
him.
you heard the song?
I've heard the song.
It's not bad. It didn't blow me away because I expected a lot with all the hype. So I just heard it this morning. I'm like, okay, this is cool.
These guys are they're like from a southern state, right?
No, they're from L.A.
L.A.
Yeah, they're all L.A. boys. Yeah, because I interviewed LeVar Ball.
Well,
Their dad.
I mean, with testament of the time, we're in an era where, the music that comes out of your area may not be the music that influences you. You know what I'm saying? Because I would have never got West Coast out of that.
Yeah, it's not a traditional
just
West Coast
sound-
song by any means.
I definitely would have went St. Louis with that.
What I had read, I'm not sure if this
You know
part's
what I'm
right, was I guess he had written the song in 2005 as like a backup plan or something, and he just never really messed with it. But he didn't really, unlike his two brothers, he didn't make it into the NBA, right? He was kind of bouncing around, G League, I think he went to Australia for a while and some other stuff, Europe.
That was because he stole some shit, right?
Oh, was that him?
Yeah.
I think it was,
him.
yeah. In China.
Yeah.
I think. But
I
don't think that really.
No comments. Let me stop.
No comments.
Let me stop.
I mean, but he's also, I mean, look, I mean, his dad said he was the most, he was the most talented one, but ultimately the NBA thought otherwise.
Yeah. Two of y'all
because Melo is doing his thing right now.
Melo is definitely, and you know what? They don't, for some reason, he's not getting the attention that he should be getting because he's killing it. He's killing it. And they're paying attention to, I'm not going to say no names, but teams that's not doing well and constantly reporting on them. And Melo's out there busting motherfuckers' asses every single night.
Do you think maybe it's because he signed with Puma and they don't have that type of engine behind him like a Nike does to really push people to the forefront?
Ooh, that'd be a nasty twist on the NBA if the influence was predominantly Nike. Ooh.
I'm not saying that's the reason, but think about it for a second.
Puma might need to go collaborate with Kanye for a little while.
Maybe.
You know what I'm saying? Get it popping real quick. You know what I mean?
I mean, think about it. All the major athletes, like all the major NBA stars are all Nike, Nike signees.
But let's get back to this LiAngelo Ball thing.
Yeah. So he signed allegedly a big record deal.
Right. And
off one song.
But you think about how far the song, the reach that it has. You got NBA players singing it. These guys have millions of followers.
Yeah.
And it's a shit ton of them singing the song. You got I saw a clip with Shaq, Charles Barkley, and like the whole cast.
First Take. Yeah.
Singing the song. It has legs.
Yeah.
It's traveling. Now, for record companies, it's hard for them to gauge talent because a lot of the people that I feel that are in position are not there for talent. They're there to figure out how to make money. And if something has enough numbers, they're going to jump at it, whether it's terrible, whether it's a joke to everyone, or whether it's insulting to the people who really cultivated this hip hop culture. They don't care. How do you think KRS-One feels about? Whoa, you know what I'm saying? What do you think he thinks? But fuck all that. This is a young guy. He probably came up listening to the type of music,
of course,
that sounded like that, and he created something. So it has legs. So if that's what they're doing, that's what they're doing. Do I agree with it? I'm not everybody. I'm not the audience that he's probably going to sell that song to. So,
well, here's the thing, and this is kind of touches on what you just said. There was a major shift in the music industry when Elliot Grange, who is the son of Lucian Grange, who's basically one of the kingpins of music, went and launched 10K Projects. And their main focus, instead of A&Rs and, okay, this guy's a potential star even though no one's ever heard of him, they started going off statistics, views, streams, and so forth. It became more of a mathematical computation as opposed to a feel and a touch. And he did extremely well with it. You're talking about Tekashi 6ix9ine, Ice Spice.
Whoa.
No, okay, listen, no, it's not about how we feel. No, it's not about how we feel about the music. I'm talking about the overall impact. Tekashi, listen. Yes, Tekashi is the snitch now and no one listens to him in terms of hip hop, American hip hop. But at the time when he was at his height, he was like the biggest thing in hip hop, right?
Again.
At that moment, am I right?
Do you feel like Tekashi should be one of the guys that helps shape Vlad? I'm talking to Vlad the Butcher, the DJ, the guy that grew up that wanted to break dance. Do you feel like Tekashi 6ix9ine should be one of the guys that shapes a new era of hip hop?
I don't think that it's really up to us to decide.
And that is a no. Because if it was up to Vlad would say no.
Well,
he would say no.
Listen,
Ice Spice. Again, I love the shorty. I hope she stops disappearing. I don't know what the fuck is going on. But the love for this is not there. It's not there. This was once a culture. Now it's looking like money grabs all over the place. The funny thing is, you have, and this is weird. You know, out of you would think this whole cookie cutter program that they had going on throughout the years, just finding people who were exactly like whatever was winning, you would think right now lyricism would be the shit. You would think they'd be looking for the motherfucker with the deepest entendres. You would think that, you know what I'm saying, like battle rappers would be getting $2 million contracts right now after what happened this year. But we're looking at 13 million to something that sounds like a dated Nelly song. You know what I mean? And again, no offense to him. Everyone's gonna have their own opinion. Whoa, it's probably gonna be fun for me to say that one day. You know what I mean? But right now, off rip, when I hear it, okay, is that Nelly? Was it Nelly featuring? You know what I'm saying? So if we're going off of numbers and we're going off of longevity, well, if we're looking at people who go off of numbers, we don't see longevity.
Right. Well, because there's always been one-hit wonders in every genre of music.
Right.
Not just hip-hop. Rock, pop, country music, R&B, reggae. Anyone could have a hit song.
Right.
If I go to the studio for the next 10 years and record every day, there's a reasonable chance I could have a hit song somewhere along the way. Right? Just by luck. Just by constantly feeding the algorithm over and over again.
And then there's the padding.
Meaning?
Padding. Like if I can, the playlist that somehow keep finding their way back to the Drake songs or whatever artist is being promoted by those labels. Like I could put on Whitney Houston and let that shit run, and somehow it will find itself back to that algorithm. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like let's not ignore that there's people manipulating the game right now. Like let's not ignore
No, of
that.
course, man. People pad streams, people have bots. Labels, advertise. You could buy advertising, which will then bring more people to listen to the song.
Right.
Right? Whether it's advertising within Spotify or just traditional billboards.
Right.
Or commercials or whatever else, or, promo runs. It all goes into that.
Right.
There's a machine. Like VladTV used to be part of, we weren't part of Universal Records, but we were located inside the Universal Records building when we were part of SRC. So I got to see what would happen when there was one guy that would press a button and suddenly the song is on every station across the country. Things suddenly change.
Right. Now, shout out to Steve Rifkin, because I do want to bring up one of the biggest artists ever, Akon. In terms of social media numbers, album sales, I think he had a terrible first week sales.
Oh, the new album?
No, his first album.
Oh, yeah. No, I was there when it was happening.
Right.
Steve Rifkin put Akon on a 1.5-year promo tour to get locked up and running.
Right.
Nobody was feeling it. Nobody was feeling Akon's look, or style. He would just be on the road. But this, once again, goes to show you when you have a major record label behind you with a budget, an independent artist can't go on a 1.5-year promo run and do free shows over and over and over again and do interviews for free. And, someone has to pay for those hotel rooms. Someone has to pay for those flights.
Right.
Someone has to pay for the assistant to coordinate everything.
Right.
Like, someone needs relationships to get, promo runs on certain events and everything else like that.
Right.
That just goes to show when you have a major label, you could push something.
Right.
And trust me, when I was there was lots of artists that got pushed that went nowhere. Doesn't always work out.
Yeah, it's kind of tough because me, myself, I've been considering quitting podcasting for a while to push my music.
What, you're going to quit your podcast?
Yes. To quit my
Even though there's way more success on the podcast side.
Sometimes it's not about the success. It's about what your heart is telling you to do, bro.
Yeah, but you're also getting older. You're getting older. And there's certain careers that,
Vlad,
are easier to do as you get up in age.
Listen to me. I do not give a fuck if my heart is telling me, yo, man, you love this, go this way.
Okay.
I've always been the guy that's like, I don't care how many people tell me no, I'm gonna go find out. I'm gonna go find out. Now, whether, it's worked out for me excellently for certain things, and for some things, it was a learning lesson. But I can't fight it. I can't wake up and feel different. I don't know how to tell myself, yo, feel different.
The money doesn't motivate you?
It doesn't go away.
The money doesn't motivate you.
It's not so much, because if I believe that I can make that money and more money, if I just put 100% into the shit, why not? I know I am one of the best rappers in the world. I know that I've signed a nigga that possibly is the best rapper in the world.
Okay.
I know that I have a motherfucker that is so talented and so fucking diverse that they can do pretty much anything. These guys are gold mines. And if I sit here like, I'm gonna play it safe, and keep fucking podcasting, I'm gonna play it safe, I'm gonna keep dealing with, the backlash, whatever fuck someone says in front of me, like I'm the one who fucking said it. Like, I can't do that, bro. It's not for me. It's not for me. I really believe in my shit. You know what I mean?
But keep in mind, right, there's a difference from being the best rapper in the world and being the best songwriter in the world.
Hey,
because they're not the same thing always.
I believe I can be both, bro. I believe that.
Because it's a different skill set.
I have 180 songs that no one's ever heard.
Okay.
After you hear those 180, then you give me a judgment.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But for right now, no one's really heard what I can really do.
But you push your music through the podcast. It starts off.
I push light records that I don't mind not putting a budget through. It's like a taste tester. You know what I'm saying? I've never really sat down and said, you know what, for the next 6 months, I'm doing this. I haven't done that. At no point in my life, it's either I had a kid on the way, I had to get on my hustle, I was out in the streets. There was no point in my life that I know that I put a good 6 months into rapping. Even in the battle rap days, bro, I would write my shit the week of. Like, and I was able to touch heights in that shit. So,
true.
What does 6 months of just Math Hoffa being this look like?
Look, if you have the money put aside where you can survive during those 6 months, and if you feel that you could jump back into my expert opinion, if it doesn't work out, then go for it. There you go. It's that easy. I mean, look, I remember against everyone's wishes, in 2002, I packed up my stuff to go become a DJ in New York. When I moved from the Bay, it was just a backpack and some dreams, and someone telling me I could sleep on their couch in Flatbush.
Right.
I understand that, but it took me a long time of being very, very broke and figuring things out until I finally saw where the universe was kind of pushing me and what people were really reacting to.
Right.
Because it's one thing to think, well, I think this is the way it's going to go, but you also have to account into what people are reacting to and what's actually gaining energy. You see what I'm saying? Like, I saw, because, if you look at my, I was a beat maker for a while. Didn't work out. No one was really gravitating towards my stuff like that, When I became a DJ, I saw a lot of energy around that. I got mixtape of the year. You know what I'm saying? The rap phenomenon, mixtapes, and the rock phenomenon, the mashups and everything else like that. And that was great. I loved that era, but I also realized the money wasn't there.
But it wasn't in your heart, Vlad?
It was in my heart, but I also...
Oh, because you told me stories about seeing people do stuff and just knowing that you wouldn't be able to do that. I've never felt like that. I've never watched anybody and said,
when I saw Kid Capri DJ, when I saw Kid Capri on the mic, I said, I can't do that.
I've never felt like that.
So you never heard a song
felt like that.
and said, I don't think I can make a song like that.
Never.
Okay.
Never.
All right.
Name it. Name who, Kanye, Drake, Kendrick, name it. I've never felt like that.
Okay.
Ever.
Well, maybe it's still in you then. Maybe that huge hit is just waiting to be unleashed to the world. I'm not going to tell you it's not there.
I mean,
You know, it's totally up to you. But for me, I guess I feel like throughout life, there are eras that coincide with certain careers, right? At 51, I am 100% positive I will never be an Olympic athlete. I am totally sure of this. I knew that as a DJ, although I loved it, as I was getting older, I couldn't really rely on people booking me for gigs and doing mixtapes, which are kind of illegal, and, you know, trying to do that. I needed to figure out something to do as I was heading into my 40s. VladTV started when I was 38, I think.
right.
You see what I'm saying? 38, hold on. Was it 38? It was 2008. 35.
Right.
Yeah, 35, I started VladTV. Because I'm thinking about what am I about to do in my 40s? And traveling around the world, doing $1,500 DJ gigs was not what I was looking forward to.
Right.
So I had to shift to find something that made more sense for my age as I was going into my 40s and eventually into my 50s.
There's a guy online named Brian Johnson. Heard of this guy?
Yeah, I interviewed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy that doesn't want to die.
Talk to him about age.
Yeah,
How does he feel about it?
but he invests like $3 million a year into his health.
And you can invest time to buy you some time.
Yeah.
I'm in better shape than a lot of young niggas out there.
Hey man, listen, I'm not telling you not to do it. If you feel
And
like
ex-girlfriends attest to that. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, 2 Chainz. 2 Chainz did that, right?
Yeah.
2 Chainz, I think, broke the mold as an older rapper that became a hot top rapper
Right.
later on in life.
And shout out to 2 Chainz, because what if he'd have listened to people saying, well, you know, time is ticking. What if he'd have listened?
Yeah.
What if he'd have listened to people?
Who knows, man? Who knows? Well, in terms of older rappers, Cameron and Jim Jones are going at it,
Oh, God.
and Mace is just eating popcorn in the background. Are you surprised this is happening?
No. These niggas are not friends. They're not friends, bro. You can't tell me these niggas is friends. Like, throughout the years, the shit that we've seen, bruh, ain't no way.
Yeah, no, if you think about it,
Yeah.
Cam and Jim have been not friends longer than they've been friends. Right? Does it seem like it?
It seems like
It
it.
seems like it.
Like, it's just a
'Cause I think
lot
Cameron
going on.
sued Jim Jones like 12 years ago, and there was all that, and
Their relationship is so complex and dynamic, bro. I don't know. I don't know what to think of it. Like, I just don't think that they're friends. They're not really friends. They're like friends who are forced to be friends because everybody saw them together.
like Wu-Tang kind of.
In a way.
Yeah.
In a way. But even Wu-Tang, like, it didn't spill out like this. It wasn't.
Oh, it does. It does every so
it was
often.
too much.
Raekwon has some things to say. You know, I mean, who did I interview who was just angry at everybody? The light-skinned dude.
You got?
You God, yeah. Yeah, you God just unloaded on the whole clan. Like,
The whole clan.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yelled at me part of the time as well, so, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
But, you know, I think everyone in Wu-Tang realizes that no one's really booking them solo-wise the same way they're booking them as the Wu-Tang Clan. Right?
Nah, not really. There's certain members that I
Yeah,
feel
of course.
like,
Method Man is going to get booked. Raekwon's going to
Raekwon,
get booked. But
right.
You God isn't doing solo shows on the same caliber as a Wu-Tang show.
right.
See what I'm saying? Inspector Deck, you know, dope rapper, but I don't think people are booking him on the same stages as Wu-Tang is getting booked on.
Right.
You know, Wu-Tang could do Rolling Loud. That'd be an event.
Right.
Inspector Deck is not going to headline Rolling Loud, whereas Wu-Tang might. You see what I'm saying?
But whose fault is it?
I mean, listen, Tony Yayo says this all the time. Talent is not given out fairly to everybody. There's only one 50 Cent, there's only one Eminem, there's only one Jay-Z, there's only one Dr. Dre. Like, you got these stars that are like mega stars,
Right.
you know, that the group is not going to partake in that. If you look at G-Unit, no one even came close to 50 Cent. I mean, Game definitely made a good amount of traction, but I mean, you could say that 50 Cent's a much bigger artist than Game in 2025. Like, a Game can't do the type of tours that 50 could do. And I just saw him in Vegas recently.
Right.
You know, it's like the whole place was packed and going crazy and everything else like that. But you look at like all the other G-Unit members, 50 had to help them with their projects every time.
Right.
Right? Tony Yayo's biggest song is 50 Cent on the hook. And Tony's totally cool with that.
Right.
So, you know, Cam is the star, I feel, of Dipset. I think Jim Jones has done well.
Mm-hmm. For somebody who was just a fan, he's done very well.
Yeah, I mean, listen, they're gonna be, you know, talking shit.
He's done very well. I think it's something about Cam that makes Jim really emotional. You know,
Jim's just really emotional anyway. Like, Jim, I believe, has hated me for the last 10 years, last I checked.
Why is he?
I think maybe over a French Montana interview that happened like 12, 13 years ago, talking about their beef. I think. I'm not totally sure. But last I checked, it's not like me and him are enemies and it's on site, but I heard he just doesn't like me. Which to me is like, whatever, you know?
I don't know. Well, to me, from the outside looking in, it's like one of those situations where, okay, yeah, y'all niggas not really friends. And I think one side, I don't know if there's some sort of benefit from people thinking that y'all are friends. You know? I think the biggest point of all of their careers, I mean, you know, Cam may go on to touch higher heights with It Is What It Is, and you never know what Jim's got planned for the future, but the pinnacle for all of them is Dipset. So it's like the Beatles, you know? People asking like what was really going on.
I don't think you compare those two because the Beatles came out as a group, and then later on, various members had good solo projects like John Lennon and Paul McCartney.
But John, hold on, let's slow it down because John was the guy.
Well, him and Paul McCartney
and John kind of
there was two guys.
He was like,
there's two guys.
I'm not fucking with y'all.
Yeah.
You know, this is John on his own.
Yes.
I done left these guys in the smoke.
He broke up the group. Right. I got it. But what I'm saying with Cameron came out first and got hot first and then introduced you to Dipset. You see what I'm saying?
Right.
He was a solo star already. That album on Rockefeller was, you know, Take Me Home, I think, was a monster with Oh Boy and everything else like that. And he introduced Dipset to you with that platform.
Right.
But Cam was already a star on his own. It's not like Dipset came, it was like Wu-Tang. You know what I'm saying? Where Wu-Tang came out and then later on, you got to know the members later on.
Right.
And you got to pick your favorite. No, it was Cam first. He introduced Dipset. And really hats off to Cam because I feel he's one of the few hip-hop CEOs that's able to not hog the spotlight to himself all the time.
Right.
He really, and I've seen it happen with Vado. You know, I've seen him do shows where he'll let Vado rap the whole time. He would just take a step back and let Vado do his thing. Like, not a lot of people could do that. Like, you know, like people like Busta Rhymes have always, I think, had problems because they always wanted the spotlight. It's hard for them to push other artists to become bigger than them. You see what I'm saying? Akon is another one who's done that pretty well.
Right.
T-Pain, that came from Akon. Right. Lady Gaga came from Akon. Like, Cam, I think, has always been good at saying, okay, I'm gonna throw Jewels on this song, even though this is a huge song, and Jewels is still kind of figuring out how to rap at that point because he's still really young. You know, like, oh boy, I didn't feel like Jewels really held his own on that song.
Right.
Because he was just starting.
Right.
But he's now part of a huge song because Cameron allowed it to happen.
Right. He shares the light.
He shares the light.
Right.
And that says a lot to Cameron.
Right. But then, what happens later? See, this whole shit started from Cam asking, that their shit started from who knows when the shit started. You hearing shit about BMF and running on the beach, all types of shit now. But as a friend, I wouldn't have asked 50 Cent how he did that.
What do you mean?
He asked 50 Cent, how did he get Jim to come out and perform with him at a time when him and Cam was beefing?
It was Jim and Jewels, actually.
Right. That's where the shit started.
I actually interviewed Jewels about that.
Right. That's where this new chapter of Jim and Cam going at it is. It started from right there. As a friend, I wouldn't have asked. But if you don't consider a motherfucker like, I don't know, maybe your sensitivity level is way, way higher than other people's shit. And you just didn't feel like it was gonna be a problem. But you know how it is, man. 50 gonna sit there, he going, I pretty much moved him around like a pawn, I threw the bait out, he bit it, ha, you know what I mean? Like, really, that's demeaning. And then Jim, hearing that, and he's like, yo, you sitting there next to him, and, not considering the history that both y'all and did foul shit to each other that just never looked right to all of us. You know what I'm saying? Like, which kind of made that whole lock shit inevitable. You know what I'm saying? It's like, we've never seen these niggas squabble. Like, you look at these three on stage, you're wondering. There's a question in your mind. Are these niggas good? Are they getting along? Like, what's going on?
Yeah, well, I mean, the same thing happened in G-Unit, though, if you think about it.
Yeah, G-Unit, again, yeah, I guess you can say that. But you never saw them come back together. That's the thing with 50. 50's like, once you're gone, nigga.
No, he put them back together at one point.
When?
Remember? Okay, look, like, there was a whole time when Young Buck left and he was showing up in games videos and stuff like that.
And he came back? No.
Yes, they did.
Vlad,
they came back and did another
happened.
album. They came back and did another album.
That never happened.
No, it did happen.
That never happened. Never happened.
Okay, hold on.
And they did another album after that?
Absolutely.
Nope.
Absolutely. Hold on.
No. If Banks ain't around for taking a picture with Game, like, why the fuck would Buck be around? I don't believe that shit, bro. I don't believe it.
They had an album, they had a mixtape in 2000. Hold on a second.
I'm telling you, bro. That's a one consistent with 50. Once you're out, you're out. You're out. Goodbye. Have a nice life.
Hold on a second.
You know what I mean?
Here we go.
Yeah.
After Young Buck rejoined G-Unit, the group released The Beauty of Independence in 2014. It was their first collaborative project in 6 years.
And this was after what? What was the violation?
After Buck left. And they were talking shit after, remember 50 recorded him crying on the phone?
And then they did another one after?
And they did another album. The Beauty of Independence in 2014. I know
Beauty
my history.
Of Independence? I've never heard of that.
It wasn't a big album. Like, it wasn't a big, for 50 Cent, it wasn't a big project. But yeah, 2014, Beauty of Independence. Because at that point, they were not Interscope anymore.
50 Cent dropped a project called The Beauty of Independence?
Yes. Google it. Kid was added to the group as well during that time. I'm telling you, this is real.
I don't know, man. But
this is real.
Okay, if you say so.
And then things fell apart after that.
If you say so. But yeah. I'm still like I still feel like, we don't get to see too much of the back and forth on, maybe with Young Buck Game, but okay, yeah.
You see a lot of back and forth. You see a lot of it.
But with Dipset, it's
remember the whole transgender rumors with Young Buck and 50 had a field day with that?
Like, it's a lot.
50 will still go at you. 50's part of the whole Jim Jones Cameron beef. He's in the middle of that.
Maybe we had different hopes.
Yeah.
I wanted Dipset to kind of figure their shit out and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, look, Mobb Deep got back together after the falling out.
Which was crazy because the things, there was some things being said on that side that I was like, I don't know if they coming back from this shit.
Well, yeah, because there was gay rumors about Prodigy in jail and stuff like that. And I remember, I think Havoc, basically said, I'm done with this dude and whatever else.
Yeah.
And they probably spent a certain amount of time waiting to get booked as solo artists and realized that, oh, we need Mobb Deep again if we want to keep making money.
I don't know. Their relationships repair each other. I think this is a situation where Cam, he doesn't need the Dipset shit. You
No,
know
he
what I mean?
doesn't. No.
So he may be in a space where he feels like it's okay to to speak on things a certain way.
Yeah.
And yeah, Jim is just not. So
yeah, and I think a lot of times you're dealing with inflated egos, and I'm fully aware of this, you know, and like me and Nori didn't stop talking for like 5 years or something over an ego argument. An argument based only off ego.
right.
And one day when I had to explain what the beef was over, and I'm saying it out loud, I realized how stupid I sounded explaining it.
Right.
So I reached out to Nori. I'm like, yo, let's have a conversation. You know what I mean?
Right.
And, a lot of it was based off him asking me to do drink champs, and I agreed to do it, but I didn't want to drink.
Yeah,
and then
I know,
that turned
man.
into
He's not gonna drink. And
it turned into a
make
whole
you
thing.
drink.
So I said, look, man, we had a conversation.
No, it's like, no, you're going to drink, little
You
nigga.
gonna drink. Right. So we had the conversation, I'm like, yo, we FaceTime for the first time, and I'm like, yo, do you mind if I screen capture and post this? He's like, yeah, no, do that shit, right? And I said, look, next time in Miami, when I'm in Miami, I'll come do your show and I'll drink. So I came to Miami a few months later.
You folded.
Well, no, because I was like, man, like, this is silly. Like,
Right.
this was actually like my friend. Like, me and him actually would call each other regularly. And
Right.
we would hang out and we would
Right.
drink and we would party. And I'm like, I miss my friendship.
Yeah.
Like me and Nick Cannon squashed it recently. Me and him had a 2-hour conversation.
Right.
And we talked about our falling out, and we talked about what he thought I did, and I talked about what I thought he did, and it was like, man, we both
It ain't
realized we
about
miss
shit.
our friendships.
It's not about shit, right,
It's not about
exactly.
shit. It was just a bunch of everyone's going through shit, and they were over amplifying everything that
Everything
was
else.
happening,
Right,
and
right.
social media was hyper amplifying it.
Right.
At the end of the day, it's like, man, who cares?
Who cares about that
Who
dumb
cares? Like, if we could restart our friendship, and if there's maybe even some business to be had along the way,
shit? Yeah.
great.
Well, I'll say this for the Cam and Jim shit. Fuck all the theatrics. Fuck all the theatrics. We, the fans, would prefer for you niggas to have a friendship, but if you're not gonna have a friendship, we'd rather not see the shit that y'all do to each other.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of this.
Yeah.
I'll be honest. Yeah, I agree.
We're
I
not-
agree.
Yeah.
Well, No Jumper. The great No Jumper Brawl of 2024. Did you watch this video?
No, I didn't.
You never watched this video?
I didn't watch the video. I really didn't watch the
It
video.
was pretty bad. At one point, a man literally got stripped. Like his
Like
pants were taken off of him.
Damn, what was the violation?
From what I understand, the guy was like a preacher. He was just there.
A preacher?
That's what they say, like a 40-something-year-old preacher dude. Yeah, but, I interviewed Whack 100 about this. He was there. He wasn't involved in the actual fight.
Right.
But the story is a little hazy as to how it started, but these guys showed up, when they weren't supposed to show up, and an argument started to kind of happen, and I guess they were saying, oh, why are you working for this white culture vulture, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
And then at one point...
Adam popped off.
No,
on him.
Adam wasn't even there. Adam was gone, but the dude that he was talking to, Loose Cannon, is a Rolling 60s Crip.
Right.
And the guy that was basically talking to him was, I believe, an A-Tray gangster, and he said something like, on gangsters. So he's, he kind of put that out there, and then next thing you know, full-blown violence ensues.
It was just people getting beat up?
Well, a gun got pulled out at one point.
Yeah, pulled out.
Pulled out. No one
nothing
shot.
happened.
Nothing happened.
Okay.
But it's all on video.
All right.
But a guy's pants getting taken off was kind of disturbing to watch.
Yeah.
You seen this before?
Yeah, I seen shit like that.
Really?
Yeah,
I have never seen this in real
dice
life.
games, nigga talking too much. Boop. Yep.
They would take off their pants.
Yeah, take off his pants, pull him down, just make him, embarrass him, basically. Embarrass him. Shut your mouth, little nigga.
Have you ever done that to somebody? Have you ever pulled down somebody's pants? You're not gonna answer that
Whoa,
question.
whoa. What do I look like, Hassan Campbell? The fuck? Whoa.
Hey, you're telling me this is a common
We don't
experience.
get
in your
down like
life,
that
right?
over here, all right? We don't get down like that over here. All right?
I wouldn't even think to pull off someone's pants during the
Listen,
middle of a
man,
fight.
hey, man.
That would be the last thing on my mind. Like, you know what I'm going to do next to you? I'm going to pull your pants down.
But it's embarrassment. It's like,
but there's other ways to embarrass people.
no, that is a very good way to embarrass somebody. You knock them out, and then they wake up, and their pants are gone. Like no. Just imagine what that will feel like in life. Like
You wake up and
you're like, and there's just people on the street walking by, like, what the fuck? Like, and you have to find your way back to wherever you were. Hopefully they left your car keys. If they took the car keys,
on
you're in trouble. You gotta get on the subway. You gotta call an Uber. The Uber driver's gonna beep like, no, get out the car.
If you have no pants, you probably have no phone, right? Is that a fair assumption?
No pants, no phone.
Right. No
You
wallet.
stuck. Yeah. It's
you're walking
very
home to...
Bruh, losing your pants can really inconvenience your life. It can really inconvenience your life.
Yeah.
And hopefully it will deter you from doing whatever dumb shit that got you knocked out and de-pantsed. You know what I'm saying?
What is a potential no-pant experience that I want to avoid?
I mean, shit.
Okay, so in your situation, what triggered the pantsing?
What, the pantsing?
Yeah.
No, like,
What you see?
I'm not saying I did.
I'm not saying you did it, but what triggered this situation?
A dice game. Somebody just running their mouth.
Okay, so they're playing dice.
They're playing dice. Nigga kept talking, running his mouth.
Okay, but that's normal in a dice.
Somebody wasn't feeling it.
Okay.
Boom.
Which, so they just knocked him out?
Yeah, and everybody just went home. Everybody just went home. Like, okay, he'll wake up eventually. He'll figure his shit out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
So what, they went through his pockets and just took his money?
I just took his pants off.
So
Tossed him in the street
didn't
or some
even rob
shit.
him?
Huh?
Didn't even rob him?
Oh, no, I'm pretty sure, I think he had bank, so they snatched up whatever it was.
They
on.
snatched up the
But,
cash.
You know, shit happens. Shit happens. But yeah, that's definitely a way to get somebody. Like, well, you're unconscious now.
Yeah, that'll do it.
Yeah.
But you just made a lifetime enemy at that point.
Hey,
That's a hard one to swallow. That's
Yeah.
a hard one to you know.
like no pants.
What? Yeah, no pants. Yeah, I mean, imagine seeing that guy again. You probably looking at his pants like, yeah,
All right, he'd have to know you did it.
yeah.
He'd have to know that you
You'd
did
have
it.
to. Well,
I think there's a
video in
lot
this
of people
case.
out there that could just find themselves unconscious and not know how it happened.
They just go black at one point.
Just go black.
You wake up with no pants.
You can just walk in the doorway and then, oh, black. You wake up, oh, where's my pants?
oh my
Oh,
god.
my nose is bleeding and my pants is gone.
Yeah. I hopefully will not find myself in a no pants situation.
Yeah.
In the future, this is why I have security with me. Sometimes my security keeps my pants on.
There it is.
No Diddy.
That's what you
know
need.
What I mean? That's
You
one
know,
of their
you
jobs.
need somebody to watch your pants.
Wash my pants. Yeah, wash my pants. Make sure that I'm wearing these pants when we drive back home. This is one of your jobs. These pants stay on me.
Oh, man.
These are not pants that are going to move around without my presence.
But there's a lot of people out there that deserve a no pants situation.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Do you want to name some? Okay.
Just in case it happens.
In case it happens. You'll get blamed for it.
Just in case.
In his VladTV interview, he talked about pants to me. Your Honor, Exhibit
Look at
A.
you, don't play.
Exhibit A.
Look at me now. Look at me. You know, it's 15 degrees outside. I'm gonna kill you, Neff. I'm gonna kill you.
Imagine walking home in a snowstorm with no pants. Imagine that. Imagine that. Oh, God.
shit. Yeah, no thank you.
I mean, it gets worse in prison, though. I remember if you ever saw that RICO Reckless video where he talks about Chicago jails, he would see dudes knock a dude out, pull his pants down, and then spit in his ass.
They in Cook County Jail getting savage life.
Phone up.
They getting that savage life. Now,
Real
ask
savage.
who want to ask? Which one of you motherfuckers want to ask for savage life?
What's savage life?
Well, I don't know where this gay shit started from, but this was going on. In Chicago, Cook County Jail, they will knock you the fuck out.
Cold. Knock you out
When you hit
cold.
that ground, you will hear this.
Get that butt!
Motherfucker gets that. Nah, the nigga that's fighting that beat, get the butt. Motherfucker gone. Pull your pants down. Pull your drawers down. Open up your ass and spin your ass.
And
now
that'll
your
be
ass a bitch. up in
6
here.
people line up
It'll
to
be
come
niggas
spin in your ass.
Niggas are spinning your ass. A nigga will grab a motherfucking soap.
You
choke,
got
choke your ass out, nigga.
6
Nigga,
different
you got
salivas.
killed in this bitch. Your ass a bitch. Now in the whole jail and no, it's going around. Man, folks got his ass spit in.
Disclaimer, we
Niggas will
wasn't
put
doing that.
ketchup,
I wasn't doing that.
mustard in your ass.
I wasn't
Niggas
involved in that
motherfucking
shit.
Eat flaming hot.
I wasn't doing that
Knock
shit.
you out, spin your ass.
But it's
I saw
going
niggas
on.
getting
On
their ass
front
spit in that bitch. Boy,
You
especially
see
up
it.
in the trenches.
That shit'll
Division
fuck you
9,
up.
trenches.
That shit'll
Motherfuckers spinning your ass.
That's
Boys,
the dungeon.
savage life. And y'all finna think I'm making this shit up. You know
Man,
anybody
if
in
you know,
Cook
you
County
know,
jail,
man. If you know,
ask
you
them
know.
if they getting that savage life in that
Getting
bitch.
that, man.
Don't hit that ground before gonna get that butt, boy. I'm from the grade. That
So
shit.
don't go on no deck with your ops.
All right. They gonna jump you and get that butt.
Get that, your butt getting got.
That's like getting killed. That's like it's
You might as
over.
well
You
die.
can't come back from getting your ass spit in, Vlad. It's over. Like the whole jail gonna you gonna have to kill yourself in that bitch. You gonna have to kill that person that did. Like it's gonna get that real.
That's
like,
the only way you can get back.
What?
You
So it's not
I
even
saw
rape. It's
old-
actually spitting in the ass.
I
No,
saw
yeah,
an
spit in
old.
their
I
ass.
saw an old
But this
school
the
nigga.
thing. Anytime there's
Well.
bodily fluid in the crevice of your body, they have to call your family. So that's the whole point of them
Boy,
doing it.
niggas
Because now they
Oh.
gotta call your people and administer a rape kit on you.
Yeah.
You have to
Oh.
administer a rape kit.
Boy, in
That's the
your
whole
ass a
point.
fucking-
Because they
That's
have
the
to get a
point.
rape kit. So when you call your family and your mama pick up like, man, a rape kit,
He got
what y'all put
sexually
a rape
assaulted
kit
in
on
this
it?
bitch.
Sexual assault.
You never heard about this? This is a thing in Chicago. They would basically they knock the dude out and then like spit in his ass, because then that person would have to be basically checked in because there is human fluid inside of them, so it's considered a rape. So then they have to go through the whole process of being, admitted for being raped in prison, even though, well, I guess it did technically happen, but yeah, that's what they would do. That'd be the thing that they do.
Yeah.
I mean, to even think about this shit, whoever thought about this idea,
Now they only need a little bit of fluid. They just need a little bit of fluid. You don't know, young boy. You don't gotta put your dick out. Just spit.
Just spit.
Just spit. Just a little bit of fluid.
I had this dude, right? Just recently I had an interview. It was Terrence Gangster Williams and his arch enemy from 30 years ago,
Right.
Little Diesel from the Melf. They were literally trying to kill each other.
Right.
Like the last time they met each other, Gangster got stabbed.
Right.
You know what I mean? So for the first time they met up, I flew them both in. I explained to them this is not going to be Jerry Springer. You guys aren't going to jump at each other. There's an actual NYPD cop there just in case. It was a very, respectful, mutually respectful relationship and so forth. But they both did like 30 years in prison. So I asked,
Did they do time for the shit they were doing to each other?
not to each other, but just other shit. They both
All
had
right.
murder charges.
Okay.
Separately.
Right.
For different murders.
Different brothers.
But I asked Lil Diesel, I said, what's the craziest shit you've seen during your 30 years? Because he was in Angola.
Right.
He said, well, this one time we were all in the showers and he seen a dude knock another dude out and just get in his butt right there in the showers, right in front of everybody. And everyone just walked away, didn't see nothing. Can you imagine actually?
I don't want to imagine that, Vlad. Like, he's
But it's a deterrent not to go to prison. Like this is what happens.
what did he do? Did he tell him what he did to deserve some
It
shit
wasn't.
like that?
He wasn't involved in that situation. He was just showering. He looks over and this is happening. and no one wants to snitch, so everyone just sort of walks away.
Just leaves it.
Just leaves it. It's not their problem. You know, shit, he might try to knock you out next. So, you know.
It's crazy.
You don't want to get mixed up in that. Yeah.
Yeah. And there's chapters in the Bible about stuff like that. You know?
Well, DJ Academics went on stream recently, and he claimed that Drake was helping LeBron cheat on his wife. Did you see all this?
What was he like the? Nah, he was at my house. Was it what?
Well, I guess it started because LeBron had a video of him like singing along to "They Not Like Us," which is, you know, a song accusing Drake of being a pedophile, right? And he thought LeBron was his man. So I guess by using Academics as a sounding board and then being able to say, I never told him that, Academics was saying how LeBron and Drake were super close at one point, and then basically Drake would get girls to mess with LeBron, you know, like on the low, using his own resources and stuff like that. That's kind of what Academics said. But, you know, LeBron has always been the, you know, faithful to his wife, family man, you know, perfect, you know, sports figure, you know, without any flaws.
Listen, man, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think you know, there's some relationships that might still be normal, but I don't think we can expect to figure out how anyone's relationship is going nowadays. Like, you don't know.
Yeah, no, I think like Drake,
You know?
you know, look, like we've all gone through this. We've all had versions of this. Like when things happen in the public and everyone's trying to cancel you for something that you do, there's people who you thought were your friends who ultimately start to jump, you know, kind of do the pylon.
Right.
As if they weren't your friends, as if there isn't a personal
I've been
relationship
there.
there.
Hey,
You've been there, I've been there, we've all been there.
You know what I'm saying?
And sometimes you can fix those later on. Sometimes you say, fuck you forever.
Yeah.
You know, and I think Drake is in a fuck you forever kind of mode at this point because I think it's been pretty established that he lost that battle.
You think it's just the battle, though? Like, it's just the battle?
Well, it's the battle and what was said in the battle. Like, nobody wants to be called a pedophile over and over again when they're really not a pedophile.
Nah, yeah, that's disgusting.
Right?
Yeah, it's like
saying that
hurtful.
you mess with little girls when really you haven't. But there's no proof that Drake has ever done that.
But Drake, I think he's been around battle rap enough to know, like, you know, you got to have thicker skin for this shit.
He's never lost before. He's never lost before. This is his first legitimate loss.
Who is Pusha T? You know what I'm saying?
That wasn't on the caliber of what happened here.
Okay, all right, cool. All
right? Pusha T
that.
didn't have a song on the caliber of a Not Like Us.
Yeah, that's
a
true.
fucking anthem.
Right.
That's played at award shows and your so-called friends are dancing and singing along to it.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
So this is his first real loss.
Uh-huh.
And he's obviously...
But it's not like battling was his fucking career.
But he chose to jump in this battle.
Right. So...
with the other biggest rapper in the world.
I think, sometimes winning is not caring. Sometimes you win through not caring. And as much as I think Drake is dope, and I still think he's dope. I think he's caring just a little too much. But right now, just to rewind things, let me be clear. We're saying that Drake really did leak this information to Academics?
Well, we don't know that.
We don't know it.
We don't know it, but
okay, all right. So I can't.
We don't know it, but Academics did say it.
Why would he say it?
In a public forum?
He says a lot of shit in the public forum.
Most times he's right though. Most times, like, Academics has not been shown to be like a liar. He's not a Jaguar Wright, for example, right?
Right.
Most of the stuff, we all get it wrong. But for example, like with me, like when you look at Vlad, like, how often do I put out information that ends up being just completely wrong later on, right? Like, almost never. Like, I remember at one point, I'm like...
But it's happened.
Yeah, I mean, we all get it wrong every so often, but, like, I remember a few months ago, I had tweeted, I'm like, you won't believe who Kendrick was in the studio with recently.
Right.
And this became, like, Reddit's top forum post, and everyone's going crazy. Everyone's asking me who it is. I couldn't say anything.
Who did they hope it was?
It was a lot of people. It was Drake. It was like, you know, I mean, it was, who knows?
How big would that be?
Right? You know, they're saying Pusha T has a song with Kendrick. I mean, the Clips have a song with Kendrick, allegedly, but it ended up being Lefty Gunplay, the Mexican rapper out of LA, who had like the 4 bars on TV Off.
Right.
No one guessed it because it was so left field, you know, but I knew it. I just didn't want to, you know, they told me that they signed an NDA and they didn't want to mess it up. So I didn't say anything. But once the album came out, I'm like, remember this tweet? Here you go.
Right. That was it.
I knew what I was talking about.
Okay.
You know, I mean, listen, you, me, academics, we're all music insiders in our own ways. So we all have relationships and people tell us stuff. And some of the stuff they say, okay, go ahead and run with it. You know, I can't say it myself, but you say it. You never had that? I've had that.
You think it's one of those situations?
I think so. I think, listen.
That'd be some corny ass shit to do.
Cornier than suing the label of the rapper who beat you in a battle?
No, you gotta understand.
That's pretty corny.
I understand the business of that. You know what I mean?
Explain it to me. Explain it to me.
All right. So you niggas been helping me manipulate the game for the longest, and then I recognized that you took the machine that was manipulating my shit and you used it for him for a little while, and I know what it looks like when you use it for me. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, oh shit, nah, that shit moving like my shit be moving. So you know what I'm saying, like, and then you're not supposed to do that because I'm that guy, you know. So that's what it is.
Now Kendrick's that guy.
No, we keep talking Kendrick and da-da-da, but you know who really wins? UMG, not having to pay someone more than $400 million when they go re-up their deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, at the end of the day, that's the winner, right?
I mean,
that's really the winner, right?
Technically signed to the same label, so.
Yeah, but so what? There's only one person that's receiving $400 million when they come to the table, right?
Drake?
Okay. So,
look, I could honestly say, look, for example, all right, Tekashi, when he got out of jail and he started dropping those songs on YouTube, I was the first person to say these views on YouTube look suspect because you can't have a song on YouTube with like 30 million views. It doesn't even chart on Spotify. That makes no sense. If something is big on one platform, it'll start to bleed into all the platforms. It's true.
They don't care.
No, I know they don't care.
Yeah, they don't care.
But I was right. Tekashi admitted to buying a bunch of advertising on YouTube, which is why on Spotify nothing happened.
Right.
You can't say Not Like Us was not a huge song, period. It wasn't artificially pushed.
What? Why you just said, yeah, Tekashi admitted to buying this.
Yeah.
But it didn't spread. So what do we do to make something look for real? We buy on every platform, right?
I understand that, but I think organically people love that song. Am I right?
I think there is a level of manipulation going on. Without a doubt. You can love the song or not like the song. There is a level of manipulation that is constantly going on. So
I won't argue with that.
Yeah.
I won't argue with that, but you can only push bullshit so much.
Yeah, that's true.
It will only go so far. You can't put bullshit into a number one slot.
Stop.
I don't
Stop.
think so.
Whoa, stop. Stop.
Hold up. Wait.
What do you mean you can only push it but so far?
I think...
You know the times we living in, like, oh my God. I wish people would just
I think ultimately...
Go find something you like. I challenge everyone to find something you like, not something that's being fucking pushed onto you by Spotify whatever. Like, go find something that you like, man. I challenge you niggas to use your own brain. Use your own brain and find an artist that you like. Let that be the new flex for 2025. This is the artist that I like.
For example, right? For example, Taylor Swift, one of the biggest artists in the world, right?
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Can you honestly say that all her views are paid for and people really don't like her when she goes and does mega arenas in every concert that she does?
I can say that there's a formula to popularity. There's a formula to getting a record to a certain point, and if you're willing to spend that money, it's gonna fly.
But you have to start with a strong product to begin with.
Yes, and it helps to have an artist that's really, like, for real, like a generational talent. You know what I'm saying?
Which I think Kendrick is.
Yeah, definitely. However, let's not act like, you know, I think it's really weird that, you know, Kendrick is as hot as he is, but labels are not encouraged to pick up more artists to kind of fill that genre when they do it with every other fucking area. Like, I don't get it.
Yeah, but Kendrick...
You need a trap rapper? Lil. Let's flood the whole market with these motherfuckers. You need a motherfucker that's a nigga that can actually rap. Like, why aren't there more of these guys? Like, you can't tell me there's not. I mean, for real, bro. Like, you think he's the only one?
I think that Kendrick is unique in the sense that he kind of reinvents himself every album. You see what I'm saying? It's like every album has a different sound. He doesn't have like the same producers.
And that's cool.
Look, for example, this last album, GNX, like the fact that he took a bunch of LA underground rappers and sprinkled them throughout the whole album, like no one saw that coming.
Underground.
These were all fairly unknown rappers in terms of nationally. Even as someone who lives in LA most of the time, I only knew a couple of the names that were on this album.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Like, I knew Lefty because I just interviewed him. Like, you know, there's a couple more that I knew, but I would say that about 80% of them I'd never even heard before.
But I'm just shocked. Like, why isn't there a lane there?
Well, there is a lane. I mean, these guys, you know, a lot of them got deals after that and everything else like that. And
fact checking.
Hold on a second. Mexican rapper on.
I just think.
Hold on.
You know,
Peso, for example. I know Peso. If he hasn't signed the deal already, I heard he's in the process of signing a major deal. It's a Mexican rapper out of LA.
Yeah, I think there's always a level of manipulation going on. If you want to call yourself a purist, find a rapper that there's no manipulation going on.
I mean, I think that happens. Like, people want to say, oh, it's not about lyricism, but when you look at the top three rappers these days, you know, the big three, as you call them, you know, as you know, Kendrick referred to them, which is Drake, Kendrick, and J. Cole. I would say that all three of them are very lyrical. Wouldn't you say that? Neither one of, like, none of them are just mumble rappers. Like Playboy Cardi is not a lyricist. He just mumbles and repeats certain things and makes funny noises with his voice, and his new song sounds like Future. And
he makes melodies and vibes.
Makes melodies and vibes and so forth. Like, I don't even know what he's saying half the time.
But the guys that
but
you
he's
think,
not a top three
the guys
guy.
that you think are lyrical, like,
I think the three that I named. You don't think that Kendrick, Drake, and J. Cole are lyrical?
to the point where there just can't be anybody else.
What do you mean?
To the point where it's just them.
No, I mean, there's always going to be more, but I'm just talking about the top three guys are lyrical. Kanye's lyrical. Wouldn't you say? You wouldn't say Kanye's lyrical.
Yeah, excuse me. I come from like battle rap and shit.
I mean, Kanye's battle rap before. He battled the Game and won. I remember I even interviewed him about it. Game even talked about how he lost to Kanye.
That's cute.
Yeah. Game is lyrical. Game is definitely lyrical. Wouldn't you say? I see you're kind of choosing not to use your words in this particular topic. Okay. Listen, you're an actual rapper. I'm a rap fan.
Right.
So I am not going to argue with an actual lyricist about lyricists. Right?
Thank you.
I respect you too much to do that.
So I think we go to the next question.
I've never gotten on stage and grabbed a mic and went head to head with somebody. So I will give you, the edge when it comes to this conversation. But as a fan, as a lifetime fan, and someone who's older than you who's been listening to hip hop longer just because I'm older, I think that, I can contribute to the conversation as well. Just not as much as a battle rapper.
Right.
And I'm cool with that.
Right.
Cool.
No problem.
Joe Budden. We actually ran into each other for the first time in 15 years.
Did he have his clothes on?
He had his clothes on. He had his clothes on. That would have been crazy if the first time I saw him he was naked. That would have been wild. Oh shit, is that Joe Budden walking around naked? Did someone take his pants?
All right, that's it for me, Joe. I'm sorry. That was it. That's it.
It was actually, it was right before Christmas at Bergdorf Goodman. We were both just like shopping for clothes. I didn't want to say the store name, but he did a podcast where he actually said the name, so
right.
I'm just repeating what he said. But I didn't want to blow up a spot if that was like where he shops.
He's on the 7th floor?
I believe so, yeah. The men's designer section. Yeah, nice little,
Yeah.
Got a few pieces from there. And I looked over and he's looking at me. And I'm like, oh shit, Joe Budden.
Oh, he was like ice grilling you?
No, not at all. Not at all. And like, so this was the first time we actually ran into each other.
Right.
Now, there was another incident that people were pointing out where I was with my man and we were outside of a strip club and he walked past us.
Right.
But I didn't say anything.
Right.
I talked about the incident, but he didn't see me. I didn't say anything. He walked to his car and that was that. So we never actually interacted. So this was the first time we actually interacted.
Right.
But when I saw him, he had just kind of it wasn't an angry demeanor. I didn't feel like, oh, we're about to get into it,
right.
But keep in mind that over the years, he said, when I see Vlad, it's on site.
At Bergdorf?
He's like, I got money put aside for lawyers, if I get arrested, whatever else. And, I remember when I used to go to Complex, I used to bring someone with me because, when he had, Everyday Struggle on there, I'm like, all right, if we run into each other, I'm going, I'm not going to.
You guys going to throw hands in the Bottega Veneta section?
Listen, if someone says, when I see you, it's on site,
right?
I'm going to believe them, right?
Holy goofy loafers. Holy Scoochie's loafers.
Right.
My ops is in here.
Yeah, but when I saw him, it wasn't like an angry, like it was just like, oh.
How can you be angry trying on the new Mary sweatshirt?
Right, exactly. So when I saw him, I walked up to him. I'm like, what's good? He's like, what's up? And, I put my hand out and he shook my hand.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yo, man, congratulations on all your success, honestly.
What'd he say?
He said, thank you, man. I said, and thank you. I've heard you say a few nice things about me as well on your show. He goes, yeah, man, congratulations on yours as well.
Right.
Like, how's your family doing? Cool. How's your, cool?
Right.
And I'm like, yo, there's a moment right here. He's like, yeah.
You pressed him, Vlad?
No, not at all.
He was like, yo, congratulations on your success. You know what I'm saying?
It wasn't like that. it wasn't like that at all. We didn't take a picture together. But,
Did you ask?
No.
Oh.
I didn't.
He didn't ask either?
Nope.
Of course not.
Mm-mm. Neither one of us asked for a photo.
Right.
But we did shake hands.
Mm-hmm.
It was, maybe whatever, a 2-minute conversation. And that was it. You know, and I'm thinking about it. I'm like, yeah, actually, I'm going to tweet about this. I'm going to just mention, you know, because I felt like it was a positive thing.
Yo, I just seen Joe and he ain't do shit.
Nah, it wasn't like that at all. No, I said, yo, we saw each other, we shook hands. I'm like,
I did that to somebody one time and it turned into a whole brawl in the club.
Really? What do you mean?
I saw somebody who was supposed to be an op in the club.
Yeah.
And they were trying to avoid me, so I took a picture of them. And I posted it. And it was like, yeah, they in the same place. And then he left and came back and got drunk and then pressed me later. Like,
look, I saw the interview where Joe talked about me with the podcast, and he basically was like, yo, the suck my dick Joe is not the Joe that you have these days, because Joe's told me to suck his dick before, you know, in a video.
Wow, whoa.
Yeah, a little weird.
Yeah.
I've never understood that.
That's some Hassan Campbell shit.
What's going on with you, Hassan?
Nothing.
Long story. Okay,
Nothing.
got it. Okay, anyways. But no, man, I tweeted about it, and then people are like, oh, yo, I want to see what Joe got to say. Let's see what Joe's version of the story is. And when Joe was on his podcast, he said the exact same story that I said.
Right.
It was identical.
Right.
You know? And
Yeah, niggas ain't got no beef. I told you this last time, Vlad. Like, you and Joe don't got no beef, man. That shit ain't real, man. Y'all niggas ain't out here running down on the ops like me, you know? y'all ain't pulling pull-ups like I be pulling pull-ups. You know?
nah.
Pop out and show niggas one time.
I wouldn't show up on the Joe Budden podcast, you know, just sit down. Like, what's up?
You show them naked.
But shortly afterwards,
Right.
the news broke that Joe was walking around naked in his hallway.
That's some dangerous shit. Like, let's take that story for what it is.
Okay.
He sleepwalks,
Well, according to him, yeah.
according to him.
That's the story.
Let's say that's true.
Okay.
Right? Let's just take it for what it is.
Yeah.
That's some dangerous shit, bro.
Well, it's dangerous if you leave your residence while you're doing it. You can sleepwalk around your house. I do that sometimes. Like, I'll wake up in the middle of the night and go to the kitchen and, you know.
No, we're talking about unconsciously
Yeah, I won't remember the next morning.
around.
Yeah, no, I do that.
You do that.
Yeah, I mean, I don't have the best sleeping habits, and sometimes when I wake up, like let's say I'll wake up at like 2 a.m, I'll be like, all right, if I go to the kitchen and just eat something real quick, it'll put me right back to sleep.
Right.
So over time, I've just trained myself to do that, and the next morning I wouldn't even realize what happened. I'll see like a carton of like potato chips like on my kitchen counter, and be like, oh, okay, I must have sleep. You know, I was sleepwalking last night. Yeah.
You guys need to see priest. I don't even think that's sleepwalking. I think you're demonically possessed.
Well.
How the fuck do you get up, walk around, and don't remember this shit?
Don't remember.
It usually takes me. It usually takes me like 16 shots to get to that point, bro.
Over time, I've trained myself. Like if I eat something, I'll leave the pack. I'll purposely won't throw it away. I'll leave the package like on my kitchen counter, so the next morning I'll remember that I actually did it.
I don't know how the fuck y'all.
Yeah, it's a little weird.
I don't know how.
It's a little weird. Sleepwalking is a real thing. Listen, every woman.
But I tell you this though.
Every woman I've been with has told me I've done it.
If I sleepwalk, I wouldn't sleep naked. I wouldn't sleep naked.
Well, what if you have a girl with you?
That could be I'm still those shorts on. I ain't trying to end up, you know, just walking down the hallway in my building. Just that's wild, bro. Like, that's scary. That shit is scary. He has a fucking balcony. That is scary. Like, what? You can unlock doors in your sleep? That's nuts, bro. How do you do that?
Yeah, it's a little different. And I guess the thing is though, is that when he tried to go into someone else's apartment, the Ring doorbell captured the video, and I guess there were like young girls in that apartment who saw the video. So that was like the problematic part of the incident, because there's underage girls that are seeing a naked man.
Nah.
That's what I think the bigger issue was. But I think the charges were dropped or something like that. I mean, it doesn't seem like a serious situation.
I don't think it was real. I don't think it was real.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, man. Up the prayers up to Joe, man. I hope that shit never happens again, and that he finds a way to handle that, because that's really dangerous. That's really, really dangerous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
y'all cool, man. Leave this alone.
I mean, I'm
Leave
not,
it
but I'm
alone,
not.
Vlad. Y'all in a good space.
Beef is back on. Fuck
You're
that
in a good
motherfucker.
space. Leave this alone.
Now, listen, it's
leave it alone.
Listen, but I'm actually like on Joe's side in the
Right.
sense that I sleepwalk myself.
Right.
If I'm sleeping, if I have a girl, who I'm sleeping with, I'm usually naked. You know what I'm saying? So I could imagine that situation myself. I've just never left my front door and did it. You know what I mean? I've always just done it within my house.
No, just the fact that you could be asleep and unlock a door is scary, bro. It's
Because
scary.
you're not exactly asleep, though. See, when you sleepwalk, you're kind of half asleep.
I don't know how to do that.
Yeah.
Either I'm up
I've gone
or
through
I'm
it.
not.
I've gone through it.
I don't know how to,
Well, recently, the whole Papoose and Remy Ma situation escalated.
Uh-huh.
And
In what way?
Well, it turned into a whole thing. Remember right around Christmas time where he posted a picture of her spending Christmas with her side dude, and then he's now
People
dating.
still take those type of pictures?
Yeah, it was a little.
It looked weird, right?
It looked
This
weird.
around
Like, a little raggedy little tree like in the background. Like,
What the fuck is that?
wait, hold on.
Yo.
So the guy is a battle rapper?
Yeah, he's a battle rapper.
You know who he is?
Yeah.
Have you ever battled him?
No.
Okay.
I asked to.
Okay.
It was turned down.
Where is he? Is he like a tier 1 battle rapper or?
Pre-Remy or post-Remy?
Pre-Remy.
He was pretty up there.
Okay.
He was pretty up there.
Got it.
Definitely. Yeah.
Post-Remy.
Post-Remy.
Yeah. Prices went up.
He's a hot commodity now.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
I'm going to say this because I actually reached out to Pap and I'm like, listen, I've gone through some shit myself. So if you just want to have a conversation,
Right.
and he's like, yo, I appreciate it. He chose not to call, and I respect it completely.
Right. He's with Clarissa Shields,
right? Who,
like him rough, don't he?
I mean,
rough.
yeah, she looked like she could,
How about some hardcore? Yeah, we like it rough.
yeah. Well, but she actually beat you up. Remy will shoot you though.
Yeah, remember shit. Yeah,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I said,
Yeah.
like him rough, don't
He
he?
likes him rough. He's got it tight.
He's got
He's got it tight.
He's got it tight. He's got it tight. Brooklyn niggas, man.
Who do you think would win a fight, Papoose or Clarissa?
Huh?
Who do you think would win a fight, Papoose
Pat or Clarissa?
Yeah.
I'm not answering that, Vlad. You trying
Clarissa
to get
is a world-class boxer.
it.
That's what I'm saying. This is not just.
I watched that MMA fight, so all you gotta do
Yeah.
is take her down. Take
Oh,
her down. She's
over?
in trouble. She's in trouble. She haven't mastered that yet.
Okay.
She's on her way. She's
Okay,
been
I
doing
haven't seen
good,
a fight-
but
I
she
haven't
hasn't
seen the fights
mastered that yet.
Okay. Oh,
Right.
yeah. Okay. Got it. Well, I'm just going to put this out there to everyone who's watching. If you have someone in your life that you care about romantically and you guys are building a relationship and so forth, keep that shit off of social media completely.
It's impossible.
Not true. Not true.
It's impossible. What I'm mad at is I heard a song from Remy where she's like going in over the song cry beat. I'm like I was at Fat Joe's listening session for The World Changed on Me. Fire album, by the way. Go check that out. And Remy started playing some records at the end of the event. And I was on my way out and I heard, I can't see it coming down my eye. God makes the song cry. It's like, ooh, this might be, let me listen to this. And she's going in. I don't know if she's talking about Pat, but she's talking about some shit. And she was deeply hurt by it.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I think they're still married. They have a kid.
so mind you, the next morning is when the shit hits the fan.
Right.
And I'm like, is this, I don't know. I think at this point, you gotta fucking roll with the punches. Ain't no get. You talking about keep it off of social media. But it's hard when social media is going to attack you for information. They don't know. For the longest time, they had no idea what the fuck was going on between Pap and Remy. Nobody fucking knew, but there was so many people just leaving comments. Even now, I might be in violation for talking about this shit. You know what I'm saying? But nobody knew what the fuck was happening. Nobody knew what the ends was out with, but there were so many people. There's no way you can keep it all. There's no way you can keep it all. You can be discreet about it between the two of y'all, but when you're in entertainment, I'm expecting Papoose to finally drop an album where he gets deep and talks about emotions. I'm expecting Remy to tell her side of the story, and I'm expecting them to capitalize off that shit and move on with their lives.
Okay, look. Remy and Papoose are a unique situation because both of them are known figures in the hip-hop world. But usually, 99% of the time, if you're in the entertainment business, whoever you get into a relationship with, most times is not a public figure, right? Or if they are, they're they're Instagram famous or whatever else, right? So all I'm saying is, and you could use me as an example, I've always tried to just keep my personal relationships off the net to the point of I don't take pictures with anyone that I'm seeing. I don't show my family, whatever else. I don't need people photoshopping weird shit. What do you mean it's a different time? I'm in this time.
Different time.
I am still a relevant figure.
Because a chick will start a fight with you for not doing that shit nowadays.
Well,
like they have to be claimed publicly. Like that shit is so weird, bro.
Not if you.
Shit is so fucking weird.
Not if at the very outset when you guys get together, you make it very clear. Listen, this relationship, wherever it's going, is not going to be for the public. We're not going to claim each other. We're not going to be posting up together. We're not going to make it Instagram official. This is going to be private for as long as we can keep it private. Okay? And that might be during the whole relationship. I have managed to keep my relationships private over the years. You know what I'm saying? And I've been a public figure since fucking 2002. For over 20 years.
For why? For why?
Because if you announce your relationship on the internet, you then have to announce the breakup on the fucking internet. And after you announce your relationship on the internet, then you have to deal with the public DMing and trying to get involved in that relationship and people, yo, I fucked your man last night. Oh, I fucked your girl last Tuesday, blah, 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 blah. Like, oh yeah, here's a picture from 20 years ago and I'm gonna make it look like it happened last week and all this type of shit. Like,
if you're an
adding
artist,
so much pressure.
Vlad, if you're an artist, make a record about it.
Who is Eminem dating? You think Eminem's been celibate for the last 20 years?
No, but he's name dropped a couple people.
He has not name dropped
yes,
anyone.
He has.
When?
Guns blazing. He named some girl named Michelle.
Okay,
Who the
he
fuck
named a
is
girl
Michelle?
named Michelle.
I don't know who Michelle is, but he name dropped her. And he was breaking up with that
After
bitch.
Kim, his baby mother,
Right.
who he roasted all through his early works.
Okay, cool.
He stopped mentioning women. You know.
What are you talking about? I just named it.
Michelle, who no one knows about. It's probably a made-up
This was
name.
on Music to Be Murdered By too.
Okay. But you don't actually see Michelle. Michelle didn't go and do a podcast afterwards, right?
Either way, make a song about it. Because on that same track, it sounded like Dr. Dre was talking about his ex-wife.
Okay, possibly.
You're an artist. Wait. You're an artist. You're going to express yourself, right? I mean, I know Pat be on his alphabetical slaughter, but, you know, I hate to sound like this impersonal, just capitalize on everything. But when I look at Clarissa Shields making posts, capitalizing off of this bullshit,
yeah,
and I see Easy the Block Captain, every fucking battle, he's capitalizing off of this shit. I'm wondering when, like, the actual two people that we give a fuck about this about is gonna just create some sort of art that we could relate to and be like, okay, all right, cool.
Or just get a divorce.
Or just get a that thing.
How's that?
Or that thing.
Now
Get
we're
the
divorced.
divorce. You know what I'm
Okay,
saying?
yeah, she's my ex.
Yeah.
So what?
You know what I'm saying?
This is my ex-wife. Yeah, we share a child. I wish her well.
I don't.
End of story.
Personally, I couldn't really be in a relationship with anybody that's still married. I could probably smash, but I'm not going to take you seriously if you're still married, much less living in the same fucking house. What? Like what?
Yeah.
You're whose girl? Yo, yeah, that's whose man?
The Christmas picture looked crazy.
What? What do you mean?
The Christmas picture looked crazy.
Yeah, I don't know, bro. So what? So what, bro? Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and then you hear that, like, I think it was Easy said that, like, Papoose had a tracking device on the car, and I guess Pap knocked out.
Yeah, they say this and they say that,
and
they say this, they say that. It just seemed like it's just, I don't know. That it's just like I don't know what the fuck that is. I don't know what that is, and it's been probably 2 years of me fighting, not saying nothing about this shit. So people been asking me about it.
Oh, really?
Because we've known in the battle rap culture for a minute, like.
Really?
Wait, something's going on here with
so
these two. That shit been going on. Like there's verses that's going viral from old battles about the same shit.
Oh,
right now, you know what I mean? So
okay.
It's like I don't know. I think it's for sale. It's fucking entertainment. It's just what it is.
Yeah, man. Listen, your life is for sale when you decide to jump in this public arena. We're all public property. We don't have any real control over the narrative.
You do.
Well, no. I mean,
you're playing ahead.
You could step in and say what you want to say, but sometimes that even backfires.
Did you know Michael Jackson had control over his real voice?
What do you mean?
Like the voice that we always hear.
Yeah, I think Jermaine went down the...
Like, we know that's not his actual voice.
I thought
like
he was
Mike
taking
had a man's voice.
I thought he was taking like hormones to like make his pitch go up.
That's what we thought.
Yeah. I don't know if that's true
But
or not.
he
That
had
was a rumor.
control of what voice you thought he had.
Right.
But in real, there's reportings of people that have been in rooms and he's like, I thought those motherfuckers would never leave. You know what I'm saying? You're like, oh shit.
This is my real
shit.
voice.
Right.
Straight gangster.
Apparently, I think he used his real voice on that Ready to Rumble game where they had like the King of Pop.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that was Michael's real voice. Yeah, King of Pop, what you gonna do?
Pop your ass right here.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, listen, but like I said, if you could avoid it,
right?
If you could avoid it,
because
have the conversation on the first date. On the first date, say, listen, I know, you're aware of who I am and what I do and so forth, but I want this to be private between just you and me. I don't want this to be for public consumption. Sure. And you could tell by the person's reaction if they're cool with that or not.
Until one day, you get in an argument, and they do this to you.
Yep. Or you're sleeping. Like, can they do that to you? Yeah. Right.
Why are you doing that?
Lil Durk.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that was the biggest crash out of 2024?
No, because the case ain't no.
Okay.
You don't know. They might not have shit on him.
They might not.
Just like they didn't have shit on Young Thug.
He
just wanted to get out.
Big difference. State RICO, federal RICO.
Mm-hmm.
Limited budget, unlimited budget.
But
the state of Georgia versus the United States versus.
Yeah.
It's a different story. In fact,
might be a different story.
Listen, I just interviewed Yak Gotti's lawyer, Doug Weinstein, who helped his client just beat a RICO.
Right.
And I asked him, I said, how does this compare with the, with the Lil Durk RICO case? He goes, it's going to be a lot different. He goes, it's a very different playing field over there,
One of the biggest stories is the Lil Durk situation, who is facing 2 murder for hires under a federal RICO case. Do you think that this will work out the same way for Lil Durk that it worked out for Young Thug and Yak Gotti, or do you think this is a very different situation?
I think it's a very different situation. I think that, first of all, the feds do not bring a case unless they have what they pretty much consider a slam dunk, and they've done a more thorough analysis than perhaps was done by the DA's office in Fulton County on this case. Anytime you face the feds, it is a major uphill battle. And if I had 6 terabytes of data in this case, I can't imagine how many terabytes they have in that case of discovery and evidence. So I think it's a different situation. Federal RICO is different than state RICO, although state RICO is broader. I think he has a much tougher battle than we had. Now, don't get me wrong. We had a terribly, terribly difficult battle. But his attorneys have some work cut out for them.
It worked in Georgia. Dealing with the feds, that's a different story. And you're right. They may not have anything on him. He may walk free. He may say, listen, he has a hell of a lawyer, Drew Finling, who I've interviewed before. One of the, also NBA Youngboy's lawyer.
Oh, wow.
Think about that.
Wow.
The same lawyer is representing the 2 main guys.
He has a chance, as I've wondered many times, how the fuck he get out of that?
Yeah, Youngboy's getting out sometime this year. I think in June or something like that.
Bruh.
With all types of guns,
you do that?
drugs, everything.
How'd you do it?
Hey, listen,
crazy.
Drew is one of these guys that really just goes all out. Mm-hmm. He really feels strongly about what he does, and he's got a hell of a reputation. But look, they could turn around and say, look, yes, all these guys were murdering people and blah, blah, blah. Well, Lil Durk had no idea any of this was happening. Mm-hmm. He had no idea.
Facts.
He's a rapper. These are criminals. Yes, those were his friends and some of his employees, but he had no idea. He wasn't there. When Lil Pop got killed, he wasn't there when the guy that killed his brother was murdered. And that might be enough for a jury to say not guilty.
Be careful what you make people believe about yourself. Be very careful. If you make people believe that you're a murderer, that you have the power to get someone murdered, or you're playing this dangerous game with your competition, whereas they trying to kill you, you're trying to kill them. Be careful what you make people believe about yourself. You know what I'm saying? It could come back and bite you in the ass. And take a chunk with it.
Yeah. It's funny because Quando Rondo said something kind of similar. He said, be careful about the image that you create for the world, because that's the image that you will ultimately get judged for if it ever makes it to a trial.
Right.
You're this big kingpin, you call the shots, everything else like that. And I feel like Chicago and Jacksonville were sort of the first 2 places in hip hop that started to really blur the lines between music and reality.
Right.
There was just way too much.
Wait, you feel like Chicago and Jacksonville started that?
Yeah, I do.
I think that started in New York.
With who?
I'm not gonna name names, but I think it definitely started in New York.
If you don't name names, then I have no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, cool. You leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comments.
Leave it in the comments. Who made believability one of the most important things about their image?
So you're not even gonna name the rapper?
No.
Jay-Z?
Said I'm not naming him.
Okay. I tried. I would still have to say Chicago and then Jacksonville. I mean, Chicago started and Jacksonville, I feel, took it to a worse place, to the point of like, you're naming all the people who died in your songs, you're showing their pictures.
Yeah.
I mean, Fulio did a video at a graveyard holding up a picture of all the people that got killed that were his enemies. Like, he's literally holding it up. He's desecrating essentially the cemetery and so forth. And then those are the songs that become the biggest songs. Those are the 50 million viewed songs.
Why?
And ultimately, it fuels the anger of people that were close to the deceased.
It's a spectacle.
Yeah.
It is a spectacle. These guys are literally dying for attention.
Yeah.
Literally.
Yeah, no, that's actually the best way to say it. They're literally dying for attention.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I've interviewed Fulio. Me and him kept in contact shortly before he died. We were supposed to do another interview, and then he couldn't make it, but he called me and apologized. And I thought, and I told him, man, there's DMs. Like, yo, bro, you just need to just move the hell up out of here. Like, you're going to get... There's nothing good that's going to happen with you staying in Florida. Any part of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Lil Durk, like, he goes and makes a song. Now, of course, they said that it's not that, which is their job to say, but, like, he did a song where it appears that he sampled Quando Rondo screaming because his friend just died. And he actually has that in the song as a background vocal that keeps playing over and over again.
That's funny. I recently dropped a song with the audio of someone that I don't get along with getting shot. That's funny.
Is the song out?
Yeah.
Could you say
Free use.
free use?
Free use. That's the name of the song.
Okay, so who was the audio of? No?
I'll let them figure it out.
Okay.
Right.
Okay, so you're telling me that someone who you consider an enemy these days?
Not an enemy, just a nuisance.
A nuisance.
A nuisance.
Someone who, okay, so if he sat down next to you right now, would it be civil or no?
That'd be up to him.
Okay, so it could go bad.
It would be up to him.
Okay. So he got shot and what? There was like a news footage or something like that of it?
Yeah,
or
he's
something like that.
popping shit outside the projects.
And he got shot.
He got shot.
And it ended up on video on YouTube somewhere.
Yeah.
So you sampled that and put it on your song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Literally dying for attention.
I assume he survived the shooting.
Yeah, of course.
Okay. So you thought it was a good idea to put that audio in your song?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just like that person thought it was a good idea to upload it onto the internet.
Oh, they uploaded it themselves?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Literally dying for attention.
Well, when it comes to stories like this, I always like to bring this part. I like to bring up this story. There's a rapper in the Bay named Kafani.
Kafani.
You know the story?
No.
He had a pretty big song at one point in the, I think the mid-2000s called Fast Like a NASCAR, featuring Keek the Sneak. It was a big Bay Area song, At one point, he got into a beef with this rapper named Filthy Rich, right? Who came from a rough part of Oakland. The two of them were going back and forth with each other on social media, making posts about each other or whatever. I think Filthy Rich had these photos of like Kafani, like in bed, kind of naked, which looked kind of a little sus, sort of, It was like these weird kind of pictures. He tried to say that he was gay or whatever else.
Right.
So Kafani felt it was a good idea to go to Filthy Rich's neighborhood and film a diss song about Filthy Rich in that neighborhood. Mm-hmm. During the course of filming, somebody from that neighborhood approached him and told him to leave. He said, "I'm not leaving." That person pulled out a gun and shot him multiple times to the point where, and we talked about this in the interview, he died on the way to the hospital. Mm-hmm. Somebody had to actually go into the parking lot. One of like the nurse practitioners had to go and revive him in the parking lot. Once he came to, he became a permanent paraplegic. He has never walked since then.
Right.
This is where rap beefs go wrong. Mm-hmm. This is when you start playing with fire and start, showing how tough you are. Oh, I'm going to go into his neighborhood to show that I'm not scared of anything and I'm going to diss him in his own hood and blah, 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 blah. Pretty sure Kafani wishes he could rewind that situation and say, I think I'll just film this in a studio somewhere.
But he can't.
He can't.
Right.
For the rest of his life, he's not going to be able to walk. Last I checked. And Kafani, I'm sorry if you're able to actually walk. I haven't got an update of your condition, so I truly apologize. And I know that he's mad. I know he's gotten mad at me using this example over the years, and I'm sorry. But I feel this is so important because I don't think that there is a person on earth that would trade a couple of days of social media, viral footage for the inability to walk for the rest of their life. And this is where things go wrong.
Especially when the rest of the world wouldn't have known whose hood it was, right?
Yeah, the nickname of that hood, by the way, is the Kill Zone. Let's just talk about that. Just so you understand what people are walking into. I remember my early days of VladTV during the DVD eras. I would go to people's hoods and their studios and their blocks and film, and guns are getting pulled out and waved in the cameras and everything else like that. If you want to do a VladTV interview, you're going to come to my studio. Unless it's a special situation like Teddy Riley invited me to his home. I'll do that.
Right.
But I'm not going to go to some random studio in some random neighborhood or whatever else, someone's house, just because I feel it's too dangerous. I don't have control of the environment.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That even with security, I don't know how many, one security guard ain't going to help if there's 20 people.
Right.
So I'm actually a little disappointed that you did that.
Why?
Because I think it's reckless.
It's free use.
Okay? You're escalating things to the point where you could potentially cause someone to crash out. And everyone loses during a crash out, right? Becomes a kamikaze mission, essentially.
Listen, if this person crashes out over my record, his priorities are seriously twisted.
You're saying that now.
I'm
because
saying
because the record is not a big record yet. But if it becomes a #1 hit song and they have to hear that shit over and over and over again.
Listen.
Like Drake has to hear Not Like Us.
Listen.
The pedophile statements over and over again. At one point, you snap and you start to sue the record label. You start to put your friend LeBron on blast, and you start basically just acting like a lunatic, like a Karen. You know what I mean?
It's still not like I forced this guy to give up his manhood or something.
Yes, there's always a worse thing to do.
Yeah.
At least I didn't pull down his pants. Yes, there's worse things you could do in life. But I'm going to tell you, from my point of view, if you look at me and all the beefs I've gotten into over the years, notice I've never really stepped over lines. I've kept it relatively civil.
Right.
Me and Dame Dash, we've talked shit back and forth. The worst I said is that he has no teeth. You know what I'm saying? I've never talked about his kids. I've never talked about, his marriage. I've never talked about his new child. You know what I'm saying? I've always just kind of, and he's talked his shit, but he also hasn't crossed the line with me either. He says shit like, oh, I don't like that Eskino's doing interviews with Vlad because, Vlad is dangerous and blah, blah. It's like, okay, fine, whatever.
Right.
I feel that if I see Dame, I wouldn't feel like it's on site, at least not from my point of view. He may feel that way, but I'm not going to feel that way. Because I feel like we never really said some things that are really nasty and biting to the point where it's like, I can't forgive you for this.
How do you feel about pedophiles?
I don't like pedophiles.
Is it fuck pedophiles?
Yeah, fuck pedophiles.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Someone actually tagged me today on a post because there's this rapper out of Texas named South Park Mexican. You know about his story?
No.
South Park Mexican was a really big rapper from Texas, I believe. And he ended up getting sentenced to 40 years. He had impregnated a 13-year-old who he met at a strip club. And then there was like 2 other, that was already bad, but there was like 2 other little girls that basically claimed that he sexually assaulted them. So he got like, I believe 45 years. Every so often he's up for parole, but they end up slapping it down. But like his songs have become popular on TikTok and stuff like that. So people reach out, if you want to interview him from jail. And I'm like, no, I don't want to interview a pedophile. Like, right. I'm cool. Right. Like, nah, I'm good. I'm not. Let someone else do that shit.
Yeah.
To answer your question. But I also wouldn't call someone a pedophile who wasn't a pedophile.
Right.
Now, how I referred to Nicki Minaj's husband as a pedophile? Yes, because he actually is a registered sex offender.
Right.
I remember I actually looked it up and I found his name on their address at Hidden Hills, which is not too far from my house.
Right.
Am I dissing him by calling him a pedophile?
Right. But if
he's a registered sex offender.
But if somebody told you from their own mouth that they used to touch children.
Yeah, that'd be it.
Okay.
That'd be it. In fact, there was a guy that we were all cool with back in college. Mm-hmm. So you're talking about this is the 90s. And I remember we all, got back in contact with each other, and we were all on group chat. It was like 3 of us. It was like there was a group of like 4 friends. So like 3 of us were on a group chat. And I remember my other friend was like, well, you know what happened to so-and-so, right? And I'm like, nah. He's like, he's a registered sex offender now.
Wow.
Like he was like caught, I guess, trying to sell like the R. Kelly underage tape, like on the dark web or something like that. And the feds found out about it. They raided his house, took his computers, and I think gave him some jail time, but he had to be a registered sex offender after that. When I heard that, I said, I can't speak to him anymore. I said, that's it. I can't even have you. I can't take a picture with you. I don't want text messages that we're still being cool with each other. You're a registered sex offender and I'm a public figure. So those 2 don't go together. Period. Like, and I understand that he didn't actually touch kids or whatever else.
But he got a weird case.
But he has a weird case that has to do with underage videos. Right. You know what I'm saying? So that's enough for me to say we just don't have to speak again.
Right.
I'm cool with that. That relationship will just be in the past.
Right.
That's how I feel. But, everyone has their own limits when it comes to that. I remember me and Nick Cannon talked about that, and he goes, well, what if it's like your favorite uncle? And you know what I'm saying? Would you give him a pass? You know what I'm saying? Would you say it was a mistake? I'm like, I wouldn't give him a pass, but some people would.
It's just a crazy world we live in.
Yeah, well, because everything can be publicized so quickly. Mm. Think about it. Like a person, you could have a friend who's a registered sex offender your whole life. You might not even know it. I'm going to pick up my kids at Chuck E. Cheese. Oh, no, I can't make it. I'm going to holler at you later. Like,
oh, no, can't make it.
Yeah, but you don't realize because you can't go to Chuck E. Cheese.
Gotta start inviting these guys to Chuck E. Cheese, man.
You know what I'm saying? Nah, I'm cool.
Chuck E. Cheese, man. Yo, meet me at Chuck E. Cheese if you a real nigga.
I mean, think about it though. Like with Nicki, with her being married to a registered sex offender, that he can't drop off their kids at school with their kid at school. Can't pick them up. Can't go to school events. Can't go to places where children congregate, like a Chuck E. Cheese.
Wow.
Can you even go to Disneyland?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either.
I don't know, but that's crazy.
But I mean, like, and that's sort of, I understand people fall in love and okay, this is the person you want to marry and have kids with, but like, I just think Nicki, like, I don't know if she thought through just all the ramifications of marrying someone in that predicament, especially being as public as she is.
I think that love becomes so scarce and fake that when you're at a certain level, you're open for any kind of it.
Yeah. Yeah, and maybe the 2 of them just work. Clearly her and Safari didn't work. I've interviewed Safari about this, and I think Safari felt sad that the relationship ultimately ended. But, you know.
Between him and her.
Between him and her, yeah. But, you know, maybe her and her husband, you know, they have a situation where she could really be how she really wants to be, and he accepts that, and he's supportive. You know, he's not trying to be in the limelight himself. He's cool playing the background and giving her all the shine, and maybe she likes that and needs that.
Right.
They have a beautiful kid together.
It's so many weird dynamics nowadays, like, and in this world with this just this overload of information, and you know where we get exposed to so many different things. You could be exposed to 5 new religions in one day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And one of them might catch your attention and be something that you really get interested in.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's gonna get weirder.
Yeah.
On
I agree.
relationship dynamics, especially with people in the public.
This is why I said in the very beginning, on the first date, have a serious conversation with that person and say, I don't want to post any of this on the internet. I want this to be private between you and me. Our friends could know, our personal circle could be aware of it, but I don't want the public to have access to this. This is private to me. And if you look at, like, for example, like these marriages that have lasted long periods of time, like, you know, like Bono, the lead singer of U2, he's had the same wife for like 40 years. You don't really see her on red carpets, you know?
Right.
They seem to be happily married. They got a bunch of kids.
But
She's cool. Just play in the background.
But how much work does Bono have to do right now?
What do you mean?
Like Bono as opposed to a Will Smith who's still active. in
Who's
his
Will
career.
Smith dating right now? We don't know.
We know he's still married.
Yeah, their marriage is a little different. Their marriage is they're a little different. They're a little different.
But we know that they're still together, right?
Are they? I don't know. I don't know if they're still together.
They're still married.
Listen, the last time I saw Will was about a year and a half ago. I was in Dubai celebrating my birthday, and as I was coming back to the U.S., Will, I guess, was on the same plane. He was by himself. I'm just saying.
Or so you thought.
Well, I didn't see anyone with him. I saw him walking, you know, security basically took him off the plane
Right.
by himself. Now, was he meeting someone later on? I don't know. You know?
Right.
But, you know, we didn't know that August Alsina was messing with Jada until afterwards. Now, August Alsina has a whole boyfriend that he parades around. Yeah, that part. Whole lot going on.
Listen, man, keep try to keep yourself on the side that God wants you on. That's the safest way to live. Try to keep yourself on the side that God wants you on. Because it's going to get spookier and spookier. And sometimes what you think in your mind might not be it. So you need something else to lean on nowadays.
Look, man, stay safe out there. It's a crazy time. LA's still on fire at the time of recording this.
Wow.
And I had a very rough week because I found out when the fire started that the insurance, the fire and home insurance had lapsed on my house.
Nobody said anything.
It had lapsed because State Farm ended the policy and the person who was supposed to renew the policy did not renew it.
Of course not. Why the fuck would they do that?
So I finally, today is actually the first day that I actually have, I have a multi-million-dollar insurance policy on my house now. Today was the first day, but for a whole week I was freaking out.
Satan came upstairs and took a walk through LA.
Right. Set it all on fire.
Say, hey,
You know?
this is the place where they do all my bidding.
They almost got the Hollywood sign. There was fire behind it.
Wow.
They almost got it. So everyone out there, there's something called the FAIR Act. There's a the Fair Act insurance policy, which means, because right now all the insurance companies are not renewing policies or setting up new policies, but there's a state policy called the Fair Act, which actually I was able to sign on in one day with a multi-million-dollar policy for not really that much money.
Right.
So it's not the best insurance, but it's something.
Right.
You know, I was looking at losing millions of dollars if my house burned down to the ground. So I had a very stressful week. But everyone out there in LA, I remember DDG, he had mentioned he doesn't have fire insurance. I tried to call him, he didn't answer. You know, you could sign up on the same day. And people, a lot of times when things aren't going well, the insurance is the last thing that they choose because they think, oh, it's not gonna happen to me. I was thinking the same thing. I'm thinking like, okay, yeah, I gotta look at this insurance, but you know, it's winter. Fire season is when things are gonna get bad, so I have a little bit of time to just look into it. I just chose not to look into it, and then next thing you know, I'm finding out we have no insurance.
Wow.
So yeah, man, it's a dangerous time. People have lost their homes. My lawyer lost her whole home in the Palisades on day one. Whole house burned down to the ground. You know, Michael Jai White, his wife's family lost their,
Wow.
you know, house in Altadena. This was the house that, you know, his wife grew up in.
Sorry to hear that.
Yeah. I know a fair amount of people that are going through some pretty tragic loss right now. So in the same way that you always need to have health insurance because you don't know what's going to happen, you should have home insurance. I know it's expensive, but all these people that are really, you know, think about it. Like if you have $1 million house and it burns down to the ground, the land is probably worth $100,000. You just lost 90%
Right.
of this whole asset. So just be careful out there, and you know, appreciate you coming in, man. Until next time.
Prayers out to everybody in LA, by the way.
Yes.
Yeah.
Peace.
Peace.